The Celtics will play Indiana tonight in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals at TD Garden. Indiana was the top offensive team in the NBA during the regular season. Jaylen Brown's team won 3 of the 5 meetings.
Good young team, play with a lot of energy, play with pace, a lot of passion, and we got to be ready to go.
Sean Granigan, Cedric Maxwell have the pregame at 7:30 and the tip-off at a little after 8 o'clock on the BetMGM 98.5 The Sports Hub Celtics Radio Network. Kristaps Porzingis didn't practice yesterday. He is out again tonight. The Patriots went through their first voluntary organized team activity of the spring yesterday in Foxborough. Matthew Judon, Devon Godchow, Anthony Jennings, Josh Uche, Cole Strange, and Kendrick Bourne all didn't participate. Bourne isn't expected to take part in any drills at all this spring. Top draft pick Drake May also appeared to be third on the quarterback depth chart behind Jacoby Brissett and Bailey Zappi. In other NFL news, after spending the last 2 seasons with the Patriots and then signing with Philadelphia as a free agent, wide receiver Devontae Parker retired yesterday at the age of 31. Also, Justin Jefferson reportedly skipped day 1 of Minnesota's OTAs as he looks for a new contract. Edmonton scored 3 times in the second period. They won in Vancouver 3-2 in Game 7 last night. They'll visit Dallas on Thursday night in Game 1 of the NHL's Western Conference Finals. And Tanner Houck allowed 2 hits over 7 shutout innings. The Red Sox beat Tampa Bay last night 5-0 in Tropicana Field. Rafael Devers also homered in a team record 6th straight game. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by The Long Drink. For a limited time, you can enter to win the ultimate golf getaway, courtesy of Long Drink at participating liquor stores and restaurants near you. Just look for the bright blue can or visit longdrink.com today. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
If you've got the app, you've got Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you are.
Or who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app.
What the
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Welcome to the show, you sweet bitch. Hi, this is Donald Duck.
Yeah. I don't like you, Rock.
I'll give you a
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. We're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us every morning on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube and subscribe. Smash the subscribe button, would you? Please. Smash the subscribe button.
You just reminded me, time to log on and say just a quick good morning.
That's right.
Hello, how do you do?
To the 50 people, super serve them, my friend. That's always what you want to do.
91, jackass.
One more than yesterday. We're growing this day by day.
Good morning from the one who cares. Exclamation point, enter.
Fair enough.
Hey, we just went up by 8 viewers. Look at Hardy moving and shaking and bumping things in the right direction.
Yeah, good for you.
Wow.
Listen, if it's at the price of me, I'm more than willing to lay and allow you to be the man with them. Whatever helps the bank accounts. I talked to you guys about how my son is. He was with my. I have this. I've lived in this. Basically this house for 2 years now, and he's got the whole 3rd floor. This attic, it's like Greg Brady's attic on the Brady Bunch. He's got this whole 3rd floor.
Yeah, oh, it's a nice space.
Oh yeah, Hardy saw it. John couldn't have been bothered helping, but Hardy volunteered to help me put together a bed and move some stuff around. I didn't even ask him; he just volunteered. Wallach was nowhere to be found, and Nick showed up very late.
I was champing at the bit to help him.
That's the thing. You got to get out of Hardy's way when things like this.
I got out of Hardy's way.
I mean, not just you, but me, but everybody. Hardy's got the tools. He's got the talent.
I didn't
It's
even
time
need
to go.
it. Fred had the tools too, and I won't derail you, Fred. I had such a great night last night because there were workers at my home yesterday and again today, and they needed my help. But I'll save that for later.
That was a Heathcliff Huxtable situation.
Save that for when the YouTube numbers are in the hundreds.
Okay, yeah, good idea.
Yeah, don't blow it now. So my son, I've told the story. It was, Dad, you gotta sell the house. And none of this is kidding around. He's not being like silly. He's like, you gotta sell the house. He's like, you got a raw deal. And I'm like, what happened? He's like, there's birds outside and they're making a racket. And then I told you the story about how I was driving him back to his mom's house, him and Zoe back to his sister back to his mom's house. And what's interesting about him is that he's like, he'll always go, hey, dumbass, or something like that. And he goes like, there are all these cars parked on the residential street, and I was having trouble getting by them. He goes, hey, dumbass, way to go. Why did you go down a different road? And I was like, well, there's not a satellite like in the sky where I can see where people are parked. Yeah, there is. There's satellites. Like, no. So I have like to find my thing, and I can track their iPhones, my kids' iPhones, which is, I don't know what I do without it because I don't know at their age because I don't know. They're all over the place. So yesterday, sports are over at his school because he goes to this private school. Sports are over. And so he gets out now. Instead of getting home at like 9 o'clock at night, he gets out of there at like 3 something. So I look at my phone at like 3:30, and he's in Waltham, but he's at some house. And so I call him, and he's like, oh, yeah, you're going to have to get me like later. And, sorry, I didn't tell you, whatever. So I pick him up in Waltham. I said, this is great. I got the Prestige car wash. Happens to be an advertiser, but I paid for it. I had a Prestige car wash monthly thing that they scan, and then you get as many car washes a month. And with this pollen, fellas, the Broncos never looked. I mean, you got to keep it clean. You got to keep it pristine. So, how your side view mirrors.
Got to fold those some bitches in when you go into the car wash.
Yeah, but I didn't. But you can fold. They fold in.
But the
right?
car wash is not responsible for any damage to your side view mirrors or aerials. You know this. They tell you there's a sign right when you go in.
Yeah, I used to work at a car wash. I was a soft cloth boy, so I don't need any lectures from the peanut gallery on washing cars.
All right.
I had to go, in fact, from the right side because the guy that I was drying cars with, as you know, was stabbed on his right side, so he could only use his left hand. Oh. And I told you about the now that I look back on it and go, the guy was obviously a crackhead that told me about, I got an invention. And he would just walk around like pacing back and forth. It's an invention. It's like, how only like losers wear both straps to their backpack? How about I'm going to make backpacks with only one strap? And then he like walked around like going on and on and on about it and gnawing his teeth.
It's called a messenger bag. It's been invented, but good luck.
Listen, there was no slowing him down, and I was in high school. And so anyway, he goes, we go into the car wash. We're going through and he is delighted by the car wash, because of the stuff spraying on the car. And it doesn't get on him. He's very interested in that.
You think I've been getting wet, but I'm still dry.
Be Real says washing cars is Wallach your natural enemy. Well, listen, he's around a lot. So the mirrors get pushed in as we're going through the car wash. Yeah. So now the mirrors are like pointing into the windows. So I said, Milo, when we get out, he's like, well, and I go, Milo, when we get out of here, you're gonna have to roll down the window and fix the side mirror. And he goes, side mirror? There's nothing wrong with a side mirror. And I go, you're going to have to fix the side mirror, Milo. Like, I can't see. It got pushed in. He goes, did it get pushed in? I can see it. And I go, Milo, what are you talking about, dude? Like, the mirror is pushed in. I can't see. He goes, I go, look into the mirror. He goes, I am. And I go, you can see in that mirror. You can see what's behind us. And he goes, oh, the mirror. I thought you meant the window. No. No. I didn't mean the window at all. Oh, the mirror, the side view. This kid's getting his permit on Thursday.
So this is what I was
He's going to be on the road
you.
with me. Oh,
he's
man.
He's going to be supervised, but he's going to be on the road.
Just tell me where you are so I can avoid the area.
He's been to a week-long intensive driving school.
Oh, man.
So let me ask
And
you.
he's like, hey, dumbass, I can't. What do you mean, dummy? Where are the mirrors? And I'm like, dude, seriously? He's like, and he's like, oh, and then he was like, oh, man. He's like, you're going to talk about this on the air.
I thought you meant the window.
No, he's like, oh, you mean the mirrors? I thought you meant the window. Well, I said mirror.
Maybe that's not part of the course. Maybe that's not something he's studied yet.
Did they tell you?
But a mirror and a mirror. You see through a window. A mirror is your reflection.
Maybe the window mirror discrepancy hasn't been covered yet.
He's like a dog. Like if you put him in front of the mirror and they start barking because they're like, there's another dog on the other side. This guy looks just like me.
Oh,
Have they told you at any point that it's your job to teach them how to drive and then they teach them like how to stay safe and be confident? Because so that's what our driving school instructor told me at the parents' night, because you have to go to the class as the parent. You have to do that.
Yeah, their mom did that.
Okay. All right. But he said, I don't teach your kid how to drive. This is what he told us. You teach them how to drive. I teach them how to drive safe and confidently.
Yeah. Well, he's like, I'm not taking my driver's test until I feel comfortable driving. And I went, yeah, that's the way it should be. And I'm like, I can't make you drive. Like, I'm not going to make you drive.
The car wash and the gas station were the two biggest hiccups for my daughter because, and I made her pump gas a couple of times, literally like no more than 2 or 3, but just with this thought in mind, at some point in the very near future, you're going to be, driving a car to the gas station. You have to know how to do this, how to put the card in. Like, it seems self-explanatory, but okay, you got to know what to do. She still called me the first time she went to get gas on her own, and the car wash is this whole other thing. Okay, so what do? I put it in neutral. I'm like, they'll tell you. Put it in neutral, foot off brake. They'll tell you. They practically yell at you at the last second.
Yeah, and they also want you to get. They want you to get. I worked at the car wash, so I know of which I speak. They want you. They never tell you to stop moving forward. You like that inch. And I'm talking like inches. They never stop telling you to move forward.
Get up on that guy's ass in front of you.
Like, I know for a fact that does nothing. It is what it is at a certain point. You put it in neutral, the rotors hit you or whatever the hell, and then they start pushing you. No matter where you are, close to the car in front of you. Like, just keep moving. No, and I just don't. No. And then he just sits there with his hand, and I just ignore him. I don't have to get that close to the car in front of me. I don't. It's not going to help you at all.
It's an extra 10 seconds that they can get if you get closer to that next car.
Net for the day? Over the course of the 12 hours they're open?
Yes. For the one car that's behind you, yes.
No. It doesn't save 10 seconds on the car behind me. It might save 10 seconds net for the entire day, in that if you added up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of those little spaces, it might add up to 10 seconds at the end of the day.
And you just described economics. That's what it is.
Well, 10 seconds.
Fractions of a cent.
Given that it takes you about a minute to go through the thing or 2 minutes to go through the thing, I'm going to venture that there's no money to be gained adding 10 seconds to it.
And that's why you don't own a car wash. You'd be terrible at it. You'd fail. You gotta get them. You gotta rack them, stack them, and pack them. Many through there as you can.
Yeah, I would fail. I would be too much of a perfectionist. I would be causing all kinds of accidents. No, closer. No, I'm not going any closer. Hey, dumbass. I can't see in the mirror. What do you mean the mirror is stupid? What do you got? Do you got 4 eyes? No, the mirror.
You second guessing.
Which gives you the reflection.
This is the time of year where you always second guess getting that dark colored paint job on the car.
Never. Because I wanted, like I said, give me the kit. Give me the Knight Rider, baby.
Well,
Well,
you
that's-
waited long enough for it. How long did you wait for the
Yeah,
Bronco?
but it's not even the color I asked for.
What is the technical name of your paint color? Do you know?
Not mine. Not the one I chose.
What did you? All right, describe the one that you chose.
It was like a blue color with tan interior, and then mine's black with tan interior.
Oh.
But I had waited, like John said, a year and a half on the count of COVID and the chips that I just took what they gave me, and it was kind of a done deal. It was actually a good experience buying the Bronco because you basically did it online. You built it, and then it was what it was. There was like no negotiating, which I'm a terrible negotiator because I'm dumb. Really am dumb in that sense. Not good at it. But at least I know the difference between a mirror and a window. So I got that going for me. My kids might call me a dumbass 45 times a day.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
I don't mind because they don't like really mean it. So like it's better. I just think to just go along with it, and they never get in trouble at school. So I figure like everyone says how respectful they are at school. So I figure that let them take it out on me. I'm used to it.
They take it out. They take it out on each other. They do that to each other.
Oh yeah, they're terrible to each other.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, absolutely terrible to each other. My son, the only person in the world my son is mean to is his sister.
Isn't that wild?
My sister is mean to her mother and Milo, but the only person in the world that Milo's mean to is his sister, and sort of me, because he knows I'm not going to get mad. Because at a certain point, I'm just like, all right, you're 15. I'm not going to some noise. Not listening. All right. What's coming up? I got to imagine a lot on the account of nothing happening yesterday. Devers is on a little bit of a tear.
Yes, he is.
We don't
Yeah,
talk about the Red Sox very often.
Okay, we can do that.
You can do whatever you want, baby. Dealer's choice.
Well, there was a Game 7 in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs last night, so we can probably touch on that. Sure. All right, little Red Sox. Why not?
Yeah, you do what you want. Don't let me get in the way.
Okay.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Visit the 99 restaurant.
we're Toucher and Hardy. 617-779-0985. What happened last night brought to you by Jack Pocket. Download the app now and use code HUB to get your first lottery ticket free. I've been in suspense now for many, many moments. Hardy, what's going on?
Well, let me tell you, Fred. As we were talking to John Wallach about this yesterday, what are the Red Sox doing? Well, took on Tampa last night as their road trip continues. It's the first of 3 in Tampa Bay. They had suffered a bit of a losing streak going back to the middle of last week where they dropped 4 straight, but took a couple over the weekend, or at least one on Sunday.
No, they didn't take a couple.
No.
They played the mighty St. Louis crappy
They lost 2 out of 3 to the crappy Cardinals.
They avoided a
They
sweep.
lost to the great Mike Michaelis.
They avoided a sweep at the hands of the St. Louis Cardinals with an 11-3 win on Sunday, which got them just 1 game below 500. So they're there.
Revenge for Tyler O'Neill.
They are knocking on the door, being a 500 baseball club once again. And would they be able to return to 500 last night? Well, it was going to take the heroics of one man.
Here's a drive, sucked the other way to left field deep. Palacios back. It is gone! Rafi Devers has done it. He has set a new Red Sox record by homering in 6 consecutive games. He goes awful against Taj Bradley. Goodness gracious.
Dingers around the mall. Touch them all with the ding dong. Come on. Souvenir for the fans. Don't throw it back. Keep it put in your pocket. See the guy at that Dodgers game that caught the ball and then took a ball out of his pocket and threw that back?
No, I didn't
kept the
see
ball
that.
in his pocket. I thought, you loser.
Yeah.
What a loser. At least have a backbone. If you're going to catch it and you're not going to throw it back, just hold it. What do you got to get the approval of the crowd?
Well,
please. How dare you?
So that was as we just heard Mr. O'Brien say, Rafael Devers' 6th consecutive game with a home run, which is a new Red Sox record there, John Wallach.
Yes, it is.
I don't know how many times guys hit 5 games in a row.
It's a handful for the Red Sox.
Okay.
It's a handful.
Well, I think Trout had 7 games in a row.
Yeah. The
a
immortal
few years ago, which is, and then that's, I don't know if Devers hits another one tonight, goes yard tonight. Then you've tied Trout, and then I don't know what's the all-time record.
I think it's 9.
Ooh,
if I remember correctly.
9 dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a Tony P.
Trout did it in September of 2022.
The immortal Bobby Dahlbeck hit it in 5 straight games for the Red Sox. That tells you how much this record means.
Okay, well then can we stop talking
That was during the
about
COVID season of 2020. Yeah.
Can we stop talking? No! Alex Cora wants to talk about it some more.
Right.
6 days in a row hitting homers. Shoot, I can't recall how many and it must be nice. 6 days in a row hitting homers. Shoot, I can't recall how many days in a row I get hits. I got hits when I play. He's hitting homers.
He sounds like the guy from Goodfellas. I'm
Yeah,
going to
I
go get the papers. Get the papers.
Take it back. The Major League record is 8, held by Don Mattingly, Dale Long in 1956, and Ken Griffey Jr.
Ooh,
1993.
you should have known that off the top of your head. Donnie Baseball, let him in the hall.
Let me ask you once again, because I forgot your answer the first time I asked you, Wallach. What are the Ken Griffey rules? Because your Twitter account is all about the Ken Griffey rules.
Be
What are
awesome, swing left-handed, and make the Hall of Fame. Those are the Ken Griffey rules.
And for every follower he gets now at Ken Griffey Rules, he's going to take a quarter out of one of the Salvation Army donation boxes. So
You
you're actually
promised
taking
me.
money away from charity.
You promised.
For every follower, you're going to take just one of those pennies out of the tray.
Exactly. He's going to go to the convenience store and take a penny out. So you'll actually be hurting charity. So stop following Ken Griffey Jr. rules.
No, Ken Griffey rules.
If my Instagram account gets 5 million followers, I will donate $10 million to somebody. And if not, no charity to anyone, ever. By the way, the big story in Major League Baseball, which to me, in a good, first of all, that game was 2 hours and 8 minutes last night,
Yes.
which is a good story for
Yes,
Major League
very
Baseball.
good story. Right.
Also, have any of you been watching Cincinnati Reds baseball this year?
Yes. Ellie De La Cruz.
He's on pace for over 100 stolen bases, which will be the first time since Vince the Man Coleman, when I was a child and fell in love with the game.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see this too. And the thing is, no one's a casual baseball fan around here anymore, but Ellie De La Cruz is worth watching. That kid's amazing. Shortstop for the Cincinnati
He had
Reds.
4 stolen bases the other day in the same game.
Yep. And if you watch him, I mean, they track these things about how fast shortstops throw the ball over to first base. He threw one over 100 miles an hour to first base. Kid's got a cannon. He runs. He's fantastic to watch.
He's 6'5", 200 pounds.
Yep.
He's really, really, really fast. And I am actually making the trek with my son to Cincinnati, Ohio, or Pittsburgh.
I'm told both ballparks are really good to watch games.
I've been to PNC.
Okay.
As you probably know, through my extensive @FredToucher on Instagram.
You go to Cincinnati. And what was your landmark? I went to Cincinnati. Hardy, you'll appreciate this. I went to Cincinnati for a wedding, and I'm like, we walked around, my wife and I. You know, the ballpark, there's a long concrete path between the ballpark and the Cincinnati Bengals Stadium. And I'm like, I'm walking around there, and I'm like, Fred, have you ever been there? And what did you say to me, Fred? I threw up on that path.
Oh yeah. On the way to a Bengals Jets game, I threw up, and everyone that was tailgating, I was so hungover I threw up, and everyone that was tailgating cheered for me. Yes. My best story from Cincinnati is as follows: I was there's no strip clubs in Cincinnati because of Larry Flint. They have Jerry Springer, who was mayor of Cincinnati, paid for a prostitute with a check, and I went. All the strip clubs were in northern Kentucky.
It's right over the river. You can see it from Cincinnati.
Absolutely. Yes. And so for some reason, Kentucky's got easier laws, I guess, than Cincinnati. So we went over to this strip club. It's in northern Kentucky. It's me and my friend. And I'm at this strip club. It's whatever. I don't even really remember much about the strip club. It was the night that J.D. Drew hit some big home run, though, because I know that. And I'm in this strip club. And my friend disappears.
That narrows it down.
Well, that's 07. That's during the playoffs for the Red Sox.
Yeah, it's probably 07.
I'm not being facetious.
No, maybe it's not 07 because I was here in 07.
JD
but maybe it was here.
Big home run. There's not a ton of them.
No, I know. What I'm saying,
we should be able to identify
that.
He had a grand
slam for the Red Sox in the playoffs. The one hit he had that we cared about.
Yeah, so it might have been 07. I might have already lived here.
Yeah.
So I was at this strip club, and my friend's nowhere to be found. He's gone. So now it's like a half an hour, 45 minutes, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, where'd he go? So I go up and I go start looking around, and one of the bouncers sees me looking around like the door guy, and he goes, what are you looking for? And I go, I'm looking for my friend. He goes, oh my God. He goes, and he describes the guy, and I'm like, yeah. And he's like, he's hiding in the bushes. And I go, why? And he goes, he has to be where to buy cocaine.
Oh no.
And I started sternly speaking to him, and he took off and started hiding. He goes, he's right over here. He's hiding in the bushes. And I went, and there he was. And then they kicked us out of the strip club. And so he must have done more, but they kicked us out of the strip club. And then we had to walk in northern Kentucky until we found another bar, and that's why I remember the J.D. Drew Grand Slam.
Got it.
Because we had walked for an hour and a half, and then finally ended up in this crappy northern Kentucky bar, and then they had the Red Sox game on.
I wonder what the over-under is, the total for strip club bouncers, bathroom attendants. You ever been to a strip club that has the bathroom attendant?
Yeah.
Which I think is just
everyone in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's just a glorified security guard to make sure people aren't doing, lines and lines of coke. But every one of them, multiple times a night, has to be asked how they can purchase cocaine. It has to be.
Yeah, and I would imagine if I'm the bathroom guy, I have a lot of incentive to know how to purchase cocaine because I'm the bathroom guy, and I would like to be not the bathroom guy as soon as possible.
Exactly. You can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Tanner Houck, by the way, 7 innings. There was a 5-0 win for the Red Sox, so no runs, obviously. Just the 2 hits gets his ERA below 2. He's at a 1.94 right now and a 4-5 record on this season. You want to hear what Alex Cora has to say about his starter?
Sure.
Lord knows I do.
He threw 112 in the last one, whatever it was, and he faced the same team, and he dominated. He threw strikes. He kept them off balance. We played good defense behind him, and that's what horses do.
Oh, I don't like that. I mean,
Okay.
he's saying that he looks like a horse.
Easy,
He's like a Shannon Sharp.
easy. No, metaphorically speaking.
Oh, I
Fred.
thought
He
you
doesn't literally look
I
like
thought you
a
were saying
horse.
he was a Sex in the City type situation.
Well, the best of the best, is a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and last night the Oilers and Canucks went at it.
Now it's Leon Draisaitl waiting. Bouchard one-timer ripped one. Rebound, Nugent Hopkins scores! Ryan Nugent Hopkins! Power play goal! 3-0 Edmonton in Game 7!
Yeah, this is the best thing for the NHL. This is the best thing. You would think that Edmonton would not be the best thing, but it is. They need this star power. They need McDavid in the finals.
Yeah.
They absolutely do.
Yeah, that I agree with that. That's anything for the NHL to get heard in some way, shape, or form, and he is the best player on the planet. So
it would be like Trout going to the World Series,
Yeah.
A couple years ago in Major League Baseball. If Trout was ever, if those Angels teams were any good, this is what the NHL needs, is they need to be able to showcase their biggest star on the biggest stage.
And an actual Canadian team in the Final Four? My goodness.
Now, by the way, if you didn't watch any of this last night, the final ended up being 3-2. That goal we just heard made it 3-0 in the second period. All three Edmonton goals scored in the second. So you think, well, this one's pretty much put away. Except Vancouver came back, scored twice in a span of less than 4 minutes. And much, I think is going to sound very familiar to a lot of Bruins fans. They started putting pucks on net. They started taking shots in the third period, scored twice in less than 4 minutes, made it a 3-2 game, but that's the way it would remain. So the Oilers advance.
Yeah, and Fluto Shinzawa is going to join us at 8:20 this morning to talk about, he was there, and we're just going to laundry list the needs and what the Bruins have to do to get back into this position, because there are a lot of cap money. The future of Allmark, how that trade might work out when they ultimately move him this offseason. And I'm sorry, I got the allergies. They'll move him sooner than later, before the start of the league year, I would imagine.
They're going to do everything they can to try, but that pesky no movement clause limits the field.
Again, they're going to have to attach a guy like Beecher, according to the conversation I had with Jaffe, and he would know.
Playoff Jaffe.
Is that you would have to attach a guy like Beecher to it, and then it would be an Oz type situation, because Beecher had the swastika branded into his butt.
I don't think that's true.
Not Beecher it's from an Oz reference from the show Oz.
Okay.
There was a character named Beecher who was a drunk driver who killed a little girl.
Okay.
He ended up in Oz, and then he's been made a sex slave by the Nazi, played by the dude from Whiplash.
Oh, yeah, that does the insurance guy.
So every time I see him, I go, "Oh, you are the horrible Nazi from the Oz show. He was too good at it." And now every time I see him, I'm like, "You're the Nazi from the Oz." Like even if I met him in my personal life, I'd be like, "Oh boy,
Yeah.
I don't like him."
J.K. Simmons.
And J.K. Rowling made up a world where people like Wallach are king. All right.
Let's look ahead to the Celtics tonight. Eastern Conference Finals begin.
Yeah.
So we'll hear from Jaylen Brown and others as we get ready for that, and it's going to be something.
All right. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Celtics will play Indiana at TD Garden in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals tonight. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7:30 and the tip-off at 8 on the BetMGM 98.5 The Sports Hub Celtics Radio Network. Kristaps Porzingis is out tonight. He did not practice yesterday. Patriots are missing Matthew Judon, Devon Godchaux, Anthony Jennings, Josh Uche, Cole Strange, and Kendrick Bourne on day 1 of OTAs yesterday. Former Patriots wide receiver Devontae Parker retired yesterday at the age of 31. And the Red Sox beat Tampa Bay last night 5-0 in Tropicana Field. Rafael Devers homered again and set a new franchise record by doing so in a 6th straight game. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Clear Tide Hydration. The plastic water jug at your office is expensive and full of bacteria, so save money with Clear Tide and get purified water, ice, and sparkling options. Visit BottleFreeBoston.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
sports. We want to talk sports.
Squeeze the chicken and open the mouth.
It's like we were meant for each other.
This is why you need us.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
John Sewer and Drain Cleaning, proudly serving Boston since championship banner number 13 in 1976. On call 24/7 to fix the drain emergency.
This evening, against a elite offensive team and a historically bad defensive team.
Right. Well, and they took two very different routes in order to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. As we know, the Celtics were able to beat Milwaukee, that was playing without their best player in Jimmy Butler, and then a 4-1 win in the second round over Cleveland. Meanwhile, Pacers have been tested already. But their first round win over Milwaukee, which was a 6-game series. We know that they had to go to 7 against the Knicks, and that took a lot out of them. But they go into this game tonight, and now Joe Mazzulla has to worry about one thing in particular, as you just mentioned, the offense and the runs that the Pacers can go on. So how will they deal with that this evening?
I think everything just depends on how the game is going. We're not going to just bring the game to a halt. We just got to take what the defense gives us. But I think you have to manage the margins. You have to manage the rebounding. You have to manage the turnovers. I think it starts with those two things.
All right, they've been good, Wallach, this postseason on picking on individual defenders. We saw that with Tyler Hero. We saw them do that in the Cleveland series. It seems like there's a lot of people to pick on in this Indiana defense.
I think the theory is to go after Tyrese Halliburton, who is an elite offensive player, but they want to make him work hard on the defensive end, and the Celtics have a bunch of guys that can do that. Derek White especially is going to be big in this series. And Indiana, more to your point from when we started this segment, Indiana scored 123 points a game during the regular season. They allowed 120 points a game during the regular season. This team loves to get up and down, loves to score at will. They lead the NBA in scoring in the postseason too. So the key is, and by the way, the Celtics were second in the NBA in offense this year. So if you are a casual basketball fan, now is the time to tune in, because there will be games where a bunch of people are making threes, runs both ways, but the Celtics are far more talented than this team.
Yeah, because I heard an analyst say yesterday, a national analyst, not local, analysts say that Indiana is one of the worst teams they can recall being going this far in the playoffs. And the reason for that is obviously injuries.
Yeah.
They played a Knicks team that took them to 7 games, like you said, half the team was injured. Almost literally half their team was injured.
Yep.
And then they beat a Milwaukee team that was missing everyone.
No Giannis and no Lillard for a couple of games in there.
Yeah.
And when we had Chris Mannix on last week, he was saying he couldn't believe Indiana hadn't put the Knicks away already. Indiana had been the beneficiary of some, and he said it would be far better for the Celtics to play Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals than the Knicks.
Yeah, because at least the Knicks would be physical, and you figure the Celtics are winning the series either way. There's no way the Knicks were going to beat the Celtics either. But at least the feeling was the Knicks could beat them up a little bit going into the final.
Right.
And now this will not be a physical series.
No, it will not.
If you're looking, like John said, if you're looking for Showtime, this is a Showtime situation.
Yeah.
This is not a bad boy situation.
And that's it. I wonder if the Celtics get into that mentality of, okay, here's what we can do to stop guys like Halliburton. We're going to put Derek White on him. Or do they just throw their hands up and say, all right, this is a team that wants to go up and down. We've got enough offense to go up and down with them. If you want to play a shootout game, let's go play a shootout game.
It's both. Again, if Derek White, and you see pick and rolls all the time, if Derek White can't guard Halliburton well, Drew Holiday, also an all-world defensive player, can pick him up, or Jaylen Brown, who's been pretty good defensively.
Yeah, defensively.
They have a lot of length. They have guys. Switching doesn't help you if you're the opponent facing the Celtics.
No.
You have 3 or 4 guys out there that play really, really good defense.
Yeah, and Tatum can guard almost every position on the floor. He can guard big men if he has to. Defensively,
perfect for today's NBA, where everybody has to guard everybody. Even Al Horford can get out on the perimeter. Now, I worry about Horford wearing down. You saw that during the last series, and especially where you're going to be running a lot against a team like this. You have to worry about the non-Horford minutes as long as Porzingis is out. Porzingis didn't practice yesterday. He's not going to play tonight. He's probably not going to play Thursday night. I don't know when he's going to come back. It doesn't seem like in the next few days if he's not practicing yet. So the non-Horford minutes are going to be very important for this team in this series to see how they do it.
And the big story, as we were talking about as we went to the elevators yesterday, Aaron Nesmith.
Oh, yes.
Revenge factor.
The Aaron Nesmith factor. Traded away in a package of players for Malcolm Brogdon. He still hasn't forgotten. He's still angry.
Let's not take away any of the pregame produced pieces that they're going to be doing on that very subject
Sure.
matter. I don't want to take away from the thunder that's going to bring down. What did Joe Mazzulla have to say about the Pacers defense?
Oh, yeah, man, they do a good job of not shifting off of shooters, defending the ball, and then they got some rim protection with Turner down there. So, again, for us, it's always been about just take what the defense gives us.
The best, there's no storyline I like more than a very average to below average player holding a grudge against their former team. And that seems to happen a lot with the Celtics. Like Aaron Nesmith, like, I'm going to go out and get him. Are you? What are you going to do? Like, what? I'm going to put up 8 against
the Knicks,
Grant Williams.
Grant, now that's funnier. Grant Williams.
Oh, no. And who's the French fella that was for the Knicks that always would get all pissed off? The ex-Celtic. Fournier.
Yes, thank you. That would have bothered me. Evan Fournier.
Yeah,
yes.
Fournier.
Who's bounced around just a little bit after the Celtics.
He's been on every team in the NBA, but he's like, all those bastards traded me. He's like, you're making money doing nothing. You're making money wearing sweatpants and going to shoot around.
He finds it amazing that the Celtics cut him loose.
Careful what you wish for. It could be a Jay Crowder situation. Undercut your new guy. And
that's right. Break his ankle.
End the season. I've watched that play like we all have enough times. Not that I'm, ghoulishly looking at the injury. I think Crowder was trying to take him out.
I agree.
I've
always thought that.
You know what I don't have a problem watching is the breaks of legs. That doesn't bother me. It's weird because it doesn't bother me at all. So
you still watch the Theismann thing?
I don't watch them for like a thrill. Like I don't seek them out. So it's not. I can watch, but I could watch the Theismann thing when Lawrence Taylor hit him and snapped his leg. If you don't know what we're talking about, Theismann when he played for Washington, Lawrence Taylor famously hit him, broke his leg. You could see his leg break.
How sad is it that now, due to our age, we do have to explain that?
Oh, you should date and really learn how old you are, consistently how old you are, and how every light little teasing thing about your age cuts like a knife because you never considered yourself old until about a year ago. Then you never realize how old you are until you go out with a younger lady.
Well, what you need to do is just lie about it like Wallach does and say things like the first president you remember is Reagan or something stupid like that.
I didn't say Reagan. I said Ford.
No, what it is?
No, you didn't say
I said Ford.
No, you said Reagan.
You said Carter.
You said Carter, maybe. And then I don't know why that pissed Hardy off so much.
Because I remember Gerald Ford.
I said Gerald
and you're
Ford.
10 years older than me.
You said it should have been Nixon for me, and I said, no, it was Ford.
Anyway, like telling a story where you couldn't have just solved it with a cell phone is like, it's funny because even at my age, 49, like anyone who's even like 10 years younger, like there was a time they basically never didn't have a cell phone, right? Like I got my first cell phone probably when I was I think when I was 22. So they were 12 when they got a cell phone. So like there's no, a 10-year age difference. It doesn't seem like much when you're 49. But you like, and then they're like, why didn't you just use your cell phone? You're like, they were very large and they were attached to the car.
I had that cool antenna that I put on top of my automobile.
No, only the very, very wealthy had those.
Yeah.
That was like you had a robot that served drinks and you had a cell phone in your car. Those were the two ways to floss that you were incredibly rich.
Right.
Oh, incredibly rich. I was at the dry cleaner yesterday. A guy pulls up in a Rolls Royce. It couldn't have been more of a dick. They're challenging Teslas for dickishness.
In a Rolls Royce?
In a Rolls Royce.
Well, that's just a whole new level.
Yeah, but if you're going to drive a Rolls Royce, he was afraid to park anywhere near the curb.
Where was this?
It was at a dry cleaner in Newton Center.
See, I think if you have a Rolls Royce, I would be really self-conscious about going anywhere other than Newbury Street. Like, how do you take a Rolls Royce to CVS?
And are you supposed to drive a Rolls Royce, or are you supposed to be driven in a Rolls Royce?
I don't know enough about Rolls Royces. I would prefer to be driven if I had one, but I'm sure there are some that are like sports cars.
It was more sporty than like the author car.
So that one you drive. That's one. That you drive.
You know, they make them custom. They make them based on your specifications. Like there's literally someone that, like an artisan that like does everything that you want.
Really?
Like they're made to order.
No
to your specific they're not stock. Like you don't pick from like 5, like the Bronco. You don't pick from like 5 stock things.
Oh no.
You tell them like precisely what they want and they make it.
Yeah.
I saw a documentary, like a half-an-hour show on it. Shouldn't call it a documentary. It makes it sound longer than it was. But it was a show based on how they make the Rolls Royces. I still have no idea why you'd buy one, especially when you're afraid to park it and you're taking up 2 spots in a 5-spot parking lot. I mean, this is very, very difficult to park in. And this guy couldn't have been more of a dick. And then I saw him and he got out of the car and I gave him the stink eye.
Give him the what for?
Yeah. Nah, I didn't give him the what for. I gave him the stink eye though. That's for sure.
By the way, Caitlin Clark, bit of an ankle injury last night. Rolled her ankle.
Mm-hmm.
And
Gamer though came back for the second half.
Came back in the second half, but they still haven't won.
Nope.
Have they won yet? I don't think they've
0-4.
won. Yeah.
You know what? She is a fraud. Way to go, Caitlin Clark. Why don't you win a game instead of going out there and stinking it up? PU.
Yeah, that was a. They played the Sun again.
When do you think the last time you'll hear Caitlin Clark's name is?
Soon.
When they win and she has a good game, and then we'll hear about it, and that'll probably be the last.
Soon. The day is within sight.
If I'm the NBA, I'm incorporating her in the All-Star game, like the NBA All-Star game.
Like they did in Ionescu. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would incorporate her if they think that she could succeed in one of the things. I don't know how good a three-point shooter she is, like off the rack. But
I assume it's got to be decent.
Yeah, but you got to be really good. Like if you're gonna put a woman in it, like she's got to be like the woman that did it this year and have an opportunity to actually compete.
This is the first step towards WNBA players having their own 3-point competition during All-Star Weekend.
You know for a fact they don't? That's impressive.
No, what I'm saying at the NBA All-Star Weekend, they'll have four women do it.
I was going to say
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
I was going to say you know that for a fact. Like I'm watching the skills competition for the WNBA. No. It's in Anchorage, Alaska. Dudley, Ohio, home of the WNBA All-Star game.
No.
Finley, Ohio.
Finley.
Right between Cleveland and Cincinnati. All right. We will be back. Cameron, you ever seen that? It's actually upsetting. There's a terrible P. Diddy video out, but they're searching for people to speak on it. And if you remember Cameron, CAM apostrophe RON.
Oh.
Lockhart found he was doing the rounds on the news, and he doesn't know Puff Daddy at all. We will have that for you in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5.
will apparently miss the entire spring. Starting offensive lineman Cole Strange also sat out this week. He is week to week at best. Other players not participating yesterday include Matthew Judon, Devon Godchaux, Anthony Jennings, and Josh Uche. The quarterback rotation appeared to have Jacoby Brissett as the starter, Bailey Zappi as the backup, and number 1 draft pick Drake May third. Former Patriots wideout Devontae Parker announced his retirement yesterday at the age of 31. He signed a contract with Philadelphia this offseason. The Red Sox beat Tampa Bay last night 5-0 at Tropicana Field. Rafael Devers homered again and set a new franchise record by doing so in a 6th straight game. Cooper Criswell starts against the Rays tonight. And Edmonton is through to the NHL's Western Conference Finals after a 3-2 win in Vancouver in Game 7. They'll play Game 1 in Dallas on Thursday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Patriot Place. Don't miss a minute of the playoff action this week at the Harp, Citizens Crust 6-String Grill and Stage and Bar Louie at Patriot Place. Patriot Place. Shop, dine, enjoy the playoffs. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
This is Kristaps Porzingis.
Left-hand dribble, lobs it towards Vegas, catches with one hand and throws it down.
You're listening to the home of Boston Celtics basketball. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Toucher and Hardy.
Such an fantastic explosion.
98.5.
Hardy, we're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And you can watch us on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube and subscribe to keep up to date with all the best moments. Is this Cameron?
This is. Hey, Ma.
All right, so everyone now has seen the P. Diddy video, Puff Daddy video of him assaulting his old girlfriend, wife in the Los Angeles hotel. Everyone knows that the Secret Service, the feds, had gone and they raided his place in Miami. There's a lot of stuff going around. P. Diddy, he released an apology video. So if you're the news, you are racing to cover this, and it's a 24-hour cycle, and you need to get people on. So they go to Cameron, who I've not heard of in a long time. Is this because I'm old, or is this because Cameron has not done anything in a long time?
I don't think he's done anything that you've heard of in a long time.
Very good. Because that song that we just played, that's got to be
2002.
Yeah, that's got to be. I was going to say 20 years ago.
Yeah, and that's kind of the last time we heard from him.
Yeah, I'm going to say I do look at Complex, so I do. Yeah. But I don't know a lot about Cameron. All right, so they're scrambling as news stations do. Here's the P. Diddy story. Now, no one wants to be associated with P. Diddy, so I imagine it's very, very difficult to get someone to speak out on him, except for 50 Cent and Cat Williams, and they won't do it. So
they grabbed Cameron. They probably think, hey, he's from Harlem, so is P. Diddy. They probably know each other well. Let's get him on here to speak. I don't think they really told him what he was going to be speaking about, but they had him on.
So this is the cable news network, CNN, where I used to work in the building, the CNN Center, at a bar and at CNNSI.
Oh, yeah. When in there during the Super Bowl week.
Oh, yep.
There's an Arby's in there. Good Arby's.
Yeah, that's where Rich and I went right after Crash, to see Crash right after the Jim Gray incident. All right, here we are. This is CNN.
Thanks for being here. First, when you saw that video of Diddy, Cassie in that hotel, did you recognize that Sean Combs?
When I seen the video, I was kind of upset with it. Being that I know him, he's not necessarily a friend, but I was upset when I seen it. But
did you recognize
everything
him?
I just said?
Did you recognize that kind of anger at all from your experiences?
I don't know like that. What did you mean? Do I be recognized? Did I recognize him? I seen him. What do you mean my experiences? I seen him and I thought it was disgusting.
All right, so this is going very well.
Well, and you know what he's picking up on and what he's saying. It's like, what do you mean, Mike? I don't have any experiences with that guy.
And what does that mean? Why is he saying that?
Because there is a strong whiff of homophobia going on here, and they don't want to be associated with any of the allegations going on with him.
Like, if you read like rap media, everyone, and that's the exact reason why so many people are distancing themselves before this video, is that to be linked to Diddy is to be linked as a homosexual.
Yes.
And that is, they do not like that. The rappers do not want that. So defensive. Very defensive.
What do you mean my experiences? I don't have any experiences.
Because he went on and he's like, the one thing I'm not doing is saying I'm gay.
And there may be, just like a context or syntax disconnect here when he's talking. What was the first thing that he took issue with? Was do I recognize him? Yeah, I recognize him. No, are you familiar with that type of? Never mind. Never mind.
Like
Let's go.
The violent part. No,
Yes.
like he's just like, no gay sex. No gay sex. Didn't have it. Didn't do gay stuff. No. I like women. Now you'll see I have 2 ladies with me. And I'll be kissing them.
I didn't do a zoom in to see if it was really him or nothing, but he admitted it was him, so yeah, it was him.
What did you think about the apology that he gave in that other video?
Ain't me for this. The apology ain't for me to decide. It's for Cassie. What I think about it don't matter. He ain't do nothing to me.
I want to play a conversation
again.
Mm-hmm. We've never shook hands. I've never ever have even shook hands with the man.
He ain't do nothing to me.
I want to play a conversation that you had on your podcast back in September with Mace. Listen.
Yeah.
When you had your record deal, why did you take me to Biggie Smalls and not Bad Boy?
So I just, being that I saw you as such a good friend, I wanted to, instantly I knew Biggie would do right by you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, is there something known in the industry about how Diddy treated his artists?
Oh, boy.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
He is not going to like this.
Oh, boy.
This is bad. Now, Mike, he's drinking from... He's deliberately drinking from something.
It's something that he definitely has invested in. It's a little drink.
Okay, it's a little drink.
It's like an energy drink or something.
Yeah, he's making a big show of this.
Oh, yeah,
of
and he's
this
putting
thing.
it right up to the camera like, here it is.
All right, this is what Cameron's up to now, is he's in the beverage game.
Well, this is the guy in Tropic Thunder who says, man, it's hot in this jungle. It's a good thing I got a can of this booty sweat when I was back in Da Nang. Opens it up and holds it up to the camera.
Yeah, it just might have been called I'm Not Gay Cola. I've never touched a man down there, Cola.
So I'm going to get some cheeks after this horsepower joint.
Did he? Now that I would imagine getting cheeks, he's referring to he's going to go get laid by a woman. You called it, Artie. He does not want anyone to. He wants you to know. Ladies, only ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden this lady's head pops up she's been just beneath the camera the whole time. This whole time a lady's been performing on me. You haven't seen it.
Going to get some cheeks after this horsepower.
Do you know what a horsepower is? It's not just an energy drink. This is a sexual enhancement powder that you mix into a drink.
Of course it is.
Well, that sounds like Cameron's doing really well for himself. He's selling a Spanish Fly. I mean, if you told me it was Nugenics, then I'd say you're in the company of Doug Flutie and Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt. But this is, what business are you in? I'm selling Spanish Fly.
There's blue horsepower, there's pink horsepower, and their motto is, it is what it is. I'm on the website right now.
Joint. I'm just going off what Mace said. Mace took me to Biggie. I don't really know Puffers like Mace know Puff.
Ooh.
But my show does come on at 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. It's called It Is What It Is. And y'all make sure y'all check it out.
Wait, so Cameron now is selling Spanish Fly and he has a YouTube show that airs at 8 in the morning?
He doesn't have more viewers than we do.
I am getting old. I didn't know any of this was happening. Can you imagine the power of CNN? I mean, this is like Newsmax kind of stuff. You watch Newsmax this time of night, you're getting some fake Spanish Fly.
I mean, I might get some more information out of Mace from there, but for me to tell you how Puff act and all that, I don't know. I never was signed to him.
Yeah. What about the industry in general? I mean, so many people have pointed out that Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff if there weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case?
Who the talent agent for this joint? Like, you think I'll be sitting around watching what Diddy do and all this? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint that y'all invited me to. Who booked me for this joint?
All right.
Wow, and I'll be sitting around watching Diddy and all that. Yeah,
Thanks.
Man, come on, man.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your time tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me. You enjoy.
All right. So Cameron thought they was going to come on because they wanted to know about the herbal Spanish fly.
Right. Well, it's an all-natural supplement designed to empower man's sexual intimacy by helping to improve stamina and libido. Contains ginger, ginseng, turmeric, and natural flavors.
Oh, well,
Wow.
I don't
That's
know where
why
I could
they're
find
having him
turmeric.
on.
I don't know where I could possibly find turmeric. Cameron's selling turmeric now.
It's Cameron's, the pink horsepower is also known as Cameron's Bedroom Love.
You know, you can buy boner pills on the internet for real, like from an actual doctor.
Actual Viagra.
Yeah, Cialis and Viagra, it's all there. You can get testosterone, like real stuff, all available for you. Insurance covers it in some cases. The testosterone.
Shake well and drink whole jar. How much is one serving? I don't know. It's a little jar. $35.
Oh, boy. I guess the
Tell me
business
it's
plan is sell 10
Tell
of
me
them.
it's a 4-pack.
Find 10
Please.
people.
Please. Whoa.
It's a sucker born every minute.
Oh, wow.
Sell 10 of them. Oh, boy. Well, listen, I wish we didn't plug it, but Cameron's YouTube show comes on in 45 minutes.
Oh, no. The 24-jar case costs $480. So even if
Can you
buy
put a
in
price
bulk,
on sexual intimacy?
if you buy in bulk, it's $20 per jar.
Can you imagine if you were sitting there unable to achieve an erection, unable to please your lover? You'd be willing to pay anything. What other options do you have except for going to a guy with a song 20 years ago in a YouTube show? There's really no other option.
Hey, niggas. Hey, mom. What's up? Let's slide. All right. We gonna get it.
Sometimes it's better just not to have a guest on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't need to have a guest on. Just play the video in the apology video. That's what you got to do. And know that these guys do not want to be associated with P. Diddy, and neither would I if I was in that industry. I want to sell my. I want. I'm out there to get cheeks. Not in there for anything else. All right, Christopher Price is going to join us. The OTAs have started. They're not mandatory. We'll talk about who's not there, why they're not there.
I hope it doesn't go as poorly with Chris Price. I mean, I hope we're not saying the same thing after.
I hope he's not getting cheeks this early. And I hope his YouTube show doesn't start till 8, just like Cameron's. All right, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hardy?
Yeah, go ahead, Fred.
You couldn't beat the weather, Christopher Price, as you're out there at the OTAs.
Yes, good stuff, man. It really was. You couldn't ask for a better day yesterday, even though it got a little sun out and about, which ain't bad on a late May afternoon.
All right, so let's go. This is obviously not mandatory what's happening right now, but we can keep an eye on things. Who should we know did not participate?
Matthew Judon, Devon Godshaw were not there. Cole Strange was not there in pads anyway, or in a helmet. Kendrick Bourne, he had the same situation. He's coming back from the knee. Strange is coming back from the knee. I wouldn't worry too much about it, at least at this stage of at least at the stage of the calendar. But yeah, there were a handful of guys. Tavai wasn't there. Zuri Henry, one of the tryout guys, wasn't there. But no one big time that I would worry about, at least at this point.
Okay, what's the deal with Godshaw and Judon? Judon's got to be a contract situation, right? Is he making a statement here?
I don't think he's necessarily making a statement. I think that this was a guy who, and I actually talked to a couple people at Gillette Stadium yesterday. I'm glad you asked about Judon. I talked to a couple people at Gillette Stadium who talked about how he had been in the building. He had been in the facility. He was getting his work in. I think that is more of a case. There's probably some contract stuff mixed in there, but I also think there's, a little bit of veterans prerogative. I don't necessarily have to show up, so I'm not going to show up. Devon Godshaw, quite honestly, man, we talked about how nice the weather was yesterday. Would you rather be in Foxborough or would you rather be on South Beach with your supermodel wife? So, it's one or the other for him. So I wouldn't worry too much about these guys, at least at this stage of the calendar.
The biggest story, obviously, is the quarterbacks and the rotation of the quarterbacks. Everyone, including you, is quick to point out that Drake May was third up taking reps. Is there anything to be taken from this? Is that how the Patriots see it, or is it just the way it shook out? I
think that there is a growing level of, I'll call it, appreciation for Bailey Zappi. We talked to Jacoby Brissett last week about this, and he reminded us, he said, look, man, Zappa's no slouch. Zappa's started games and won games in this league, and so he's earned a level of respect. I know that, look, it's all relative, at least at this stage of his career, especially when it relates to last season, but I did think it was interesting. And I also think, we talked about veterans prerogative before. I think that, that's a way to show Zappi a little respect, at least from a veteran's point of view. I do think it was important, though, that, to note that Brissett was the first guy. Brissett was clearly the lead guy in all of the drills. He got the bulk of the reps. And so at least as it bodes, for the quarterback position, he is QB1 and everyone else is fighting for the number 2 spot moving forward, at least at this point.
All right, Christopher, but if you're the Patriots and you're not going to play Drake May and you're making the decision not to play Drake May, it's important not to make him the backup, right? Because I just saw what happened in New York. They were all confident. We have Aaron Rodgers. Zach Wilson's talented. We're going to let him sit behind the master for a year or two. 4 plays into the season, Rodgers gets hurt. Here comes Wilson. He's ruined all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a concern with you with May? I mean, if you're not going to play him, you really can't. You really got to make him your third quarterback, right?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting argument, Fred. I do. I think that there's value in just, seeing what he can do, at least with the first team, if that's what you're talking about. Because you do have to prepare for the.
Game day Sundays.
The worst case scenario.
Yeah, practice. Yeah. I don't practice. Yeah, sure. Yeah, obviously, I want him as much experience in practice as possible. But what I'm saying is, on game days, if my intention is not to play him, I really got to make that commitment that there's got to be a guy between him and the starter, right? Because the starter's going to get hurt most likely at some point.
Yeah, and then you have to then that also brings up a discussion regarding the other 2 guys on the roster in their future, at least as it relates to 2024. If you want to keep Zappi around, I think that there's 2 different possibilities there when it comes to those guys in what they do. The first 2 guys, May and Brissett, will ultimately impact those 2 guys. Do you think about trading Zappi if he has a really good summer for, let's say, a 5th round pick or a 6th round pick, and you go into the regular season, you feel good about your combination of May, Brissett, and Joe Milton? Or does Joe Milton get the Foxborough flu and is a developmental guy for a year, and you have to go kind of send him away, and then you still have, I would think you would still have Bailey Zappi on the roster. So there's a lot to be determined with that position. Right now, the thing that we know for sure is that Brissett is the number one quarterback on the roster.
Can you? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just wonder where you fall on all this, Chris, in terms of what these guys, Brissett specifically, might be able to do in the interim, assuming that he is going to be the starter and that Drake May is going to be developed along the way. Because people would like to see maybe the Patriots win some football games in the interim. So are you on board with this whole developmental thing with Drake May, which I think you are, but they have a chance at doing anything if Brissett is the guy for the first, I don't know, half of the season?
I think it's going to be tough. I do. I think that Brissett is probably going to get his butt kicked a little bit, and I think it's okay to have him get his butt kicked as opposed to Drake May, at least from a confidence standpoint. But Hardy, that's a really good question. I think that you have to take the short term and the long term into account in both of those cases. I think that you can win ball games with Jacoby Brissett in the short term while you develop Drake May in the long term. I think it's going to be tough, and I think it's going to be difficult to walk that fine line, because I think there are going to be Sundays where you're going to want to have the young quarterback out there, but I think long term, I don't want to say it's going to hinder his development, but I think you're going to be better off having Jacoby Brissett take the slings and arrows, at least for the bulk of 2024, as opposed to the rookie.
Can you talk about the overall feeling around the team? I thought it really interesting. I assume you were there when Juju Smith-Schuster stepped away from the microphone and yelled back. The vibe in the locker room is much better than last year. Everyone's driving home the point that Bill's not here. Everybody's relaxed, right?
Yeah, it is. It's different. Someone said the other day too, and I forget who it was, that Mayo likes to have the guys run the team, and everyone kind of jumped on that quote a little bit and kind of took it and ran with it a little bit. But I think it's the vibe is really different. It is. It's more of a team friendly and more of a player friendly vibe. There are people around, and this is not just players and not just coaches, but people at the facility saying that they're not walking on eggshells anymore. It's just a different feeling around the stadium. It's a different feeling. And look, fans probably don't care one way or another. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out, though, in the end.
Is this a good thing?
Yeah. Look, man, that's a fantastic question. It is, because, we saw, John can remember that, we saw them turn the page from Bill Parcells to Pete Carroll. And it was, look, it's 25 years ago. It's a different era, but there was the same sort of vibe. Pete's a player's coach. Everybody loves him. Everyone, the vibes are different. And they regressed over a 3-year period. So it completely changed. So it's just, I think you got to kind of let it play out a little bit. And if you're a fan, you just kind of put your faith in the idea that they have some guys on that roster. David Andrews, is one of them, who it's going to be a players-led team, but at the same time, they're not going to stray too far from the important stuff.
So what's your overall confidence level in the coaching staff as a whole? We really don't know with Gerard Mayo, but got a little bit more, book on the coordinators and some of the assistants. What do you think about what they have assembled so far?
Defense, I have no questions at all.
Okay.
Defense, I have the utmost confidence that this defense is going to be probably is going to be a top 10 defense again. I did the continuity involving DeMarcus Covington, the carryover with guys like Jabril Peppers, Matthew Judon, Christian Gonzalez, Juwan Bentley, Christian Barmore, Kyle Duggar, all those guys. The defense is going to be really good if everyone stays healthy. All my questions are on offense. It's really Gerard Mayo's history as a head coach. Again, speaks to his background on defense, but offensively, we don't know. Alex Van Pelt, he hasn't called plays as an offensive coordinator over an extended period of time at all.
Yeah,
and so he's still kind of an unfinished portrait as an OC. So it is. I like I said, I have no problem in the defense. If I'm a fan, I love what they're doing. And again, I think they're going to be a top 10 defense. I have all sorts of questions about the confidence level on the offensive side of the ball. And it starts with the offensive coordinators and it starts with the quarterback.
Yeah, the thing about the fan base and then I guess ownership is they're going to have to show patience. I mean, like you said, you don't know about this coaching staff, and the offense is so hindered that. I mean, they're a dog in every game this year, according to Vegas. I mean, Vegas, I guess,
Well
has them
deserved,
going,
by the way.
But that means Vegas, really, if you think about it, has them going 0-17.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's the way that they look at it. So, the pressure, if they decide not to play May, the fan base has got to just get used to, like, look, they believe in this kid, that they're going to take him around for a year, and then you can't judge the coaching staff based on, the first 6 games of the season, first 8 games of the season. So,
I think, Fred, ultimately what I would love to see is just a gradual improvement over the course of the year. And I'll make another old-timey reference here. You remember the 1993-94 kind of team where Parcells came in? And look, I'm not trying to equate Bill Parcells with Gerard Mayo, but that team they were miserable out of the gate, and they won like their last 4 games. And there was a great sense of optimism down the road that, look, even though they had a horrible year, things were trending in the right direction. And I think that that's really important to keep in mind here, that, there are going to be more losses than wins this year. I still think they're going to go over on the 4.5 that I saw in Vegas, by the way, but they're going to be more losses than wins. But I think as long as you see improvement from a lot of that young talent on the offensive side of the ball, Drake May, the offensive lineman, Hulk, Baker, if they're trending in the right direction by the end of the year last year, that's a sign that they've gotten things turned around.
I would be with you on that, because 4.5 wins, it's so absurdly low. But even if it's only 5 or 6, if you get 2 of those wins out of your last 3 games, it changes your outlook remarkably.
He's talking about
this
Bledsoe's rookie season. They won their last 4 to finish 5-11. And that we all had, and then they went 10-6 the next year, and so you had the optimism.
Give me half their wins over the last 5 games, and I'll be oddly optimistic going forward.
Yeah, and look, man, if they hit on the quarterback, if May's the real thing, and like if Polk and Baker can play, it's a lot of ifs. But you remember this team lost however many games last year by 7 points or less. The defense is going to keep them in games. The special teams is going to be better. It's just if they can get anything on offense, anything at all on offense, I think they have a chance to be competitive for most of the year. I'm not going to say they're going to, come close to 500, but they're going to be competitive. They're going to be more competitive than they were last year.
All right, Christopher Price, read him in the Boston Globe. He will be at OTAs and reporting on all of that. Christopher Price, it is always a pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Take care, guys. Talk soon.
All right, there you go. Christopher Price.
Great questions, guys. Fantastic questions for the 2 of you.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, he was really bombarded with really some good stuff. Look at what my daughter texted me during the show.
Just a crying emoji? Oh, no, the middle finger emoji.
Yeah.
Huh.
Can I skip school? I'm really tired. No, I put no heart emoji, and she just gives me the middle finger emoji.
Interesting.
Well, Fred, she's tired. Yeah. Why are you making her go to school if she's tired?
I don't know. 3 days a week, I like fielding that question, though.
She didn't miss any school during the year. I mean, what's the problem?
She has not missed school since January, but before that, it was a bit of a show. Before
the
that,
teacher strike and the illness that followed that.
And she had COVID right after the
off. Yeah,
good recollection, good recall. She had COVID right after the Newton teacher strike.
Right.
So there was
wasn't behind it all after that.
No, it was. There's some catch up. It's going to be some catch up. But it's
how late are they going?
They're going till like the end of June. Whatever legal date they can go till. They're going till. There's like a date where it has to end.
Yeah.
So I think right before the 4th of July week is when they go till.
Wow.
Yeah, my son's done Friday.
My kid's done the 14th
Holy
of June.
Crap! Your son's done this week.
They got to do like some charity stuff next week. I'm not being silly. Like they really do have to go do charity stuff. I'm not making a joke. And so like it's not school. It's like he's at that crayons thing in
Cradles to Crayons.
Cradles to Crayons.
Great organization.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they'll have they'll have a young buck, a young 16-year-old boy sitting there lifting boxes.
I don't see no cradles around here.
I don't know whether they're a cradle. I don't know about these crayons. Can't erase them. If you're just joining us, my son is the person who we were going through a car wash yesterday, and during the course of the car wash, Prestige Car Wash, my
love them.
I like.
Don't ride dirty.
Listen, There's one right by here, and I got the monthly pass.
I got the monthly pass for I used 2 of them over in Canton.
So the the mirror's pushed in, and so obviously, like, you got to roll the window down and push the mirror back out.
Yeah.
It's something that a chimpanzee could do. It's very easy. And I said to him, and he goes, he's like, car wash. And I said, Milo, when we are done with the car wash, you're gonna have to push the mirror on. He goes, hey, dumbass, there's nothing wrong with the mirror. I go, the mirror, like this, so I can see traffic. You got to push it back out. Dad, the mirror's fine. There ain't no water getting in the car. Huh? You can see in the mirror right now. I can see the mirror right here. The mirror. Oh, the mirror. I thought you were talking about the window.
He's going to be on the road driving soon.
Yes, he gets his permit on Thursday.
Awesome.
Oh, mirror is the thing you see yourself in. I fought a guy and cut my hand. This guy with the haircut, I punched him in the face and I cut my hand. He had a sharp face, Dad. I couldn't see. Dad, I got these birds. They keep running into this window. Did he just bump it into a mirror? This guy won't stop imitating me, Dad. He's like a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
What's he going to do for... He's got a lot of summer then. So he's doing community work, service work, whatever. Not community service, but stuff for the school next week.
Believe me, I'd be putting 1,000 miles. Not, like, no joke, 1,000 miles.
Baseball camps and stuff?
Baseball stuff. Yeah.
All right.
Baseball stuff all over. A couple leagues.
All right.
It's his passion.
Yeah.
You have to let the child follow their passion, Hardy.
Oh, don't you?
2 hours a day he's back in that cage.
Really?
Yeah. He's got a walking boot on. He's been he's got a swollen tendon in his foot. Pray for him. All right, we will be back in just a moment. I want to play the LeBron James thing. I can hold it no longer. Thank you, listeners. You're sending me great stuff, and we will have that for you in just a moment.
Sports Hub Headline. Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, and we're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Julie, hello, Julie.
Hey, Fred. Hey, Hardy. Hey, Wallach.
Hi.
Hey.
So, Fred, why does your son sound like Mark Davis? Is he going to go to P.F. Chang's? I don't get it.
Julie, you've hit the nail on the head. I'm very limited in the amount of voices I can do, and maybe
you're not. But you're not.
Yeah, it's very, very similar to my Mark Davis, who doesn't sound anything like Mark Davis. Okay. It might be the haircut. It might be that my son's haircut is eerily similar. He was a bit of a trendsetter.
But if you've got a voice or an impersonation that is that good, why not repurpose it as many times as you can?
You really have to, because once the Mark Davis song happened, I could never talk about him again. So I now am, but it's kind of Bill Cosby and Mark Davis.
It took me a second.
It's kind of Mark Davis and Bill Cosby. You know, the guys with the thing down, the mirror, I can't see. Hey, dumbass, why'd you drive on the road with all the cars? All right, LeBron James, right?
Yes.
LeBron James, the NBA is somehow making it through the playoffs without LeBron James playing.
Yes.
I love Anthony Edwards. I'm not a Johnny-come-lately on Anthony Edwards. I loved him coming out of Georgia because he was a high flyer. I had no idea he was going to be this kind of leader, John Wall. Like, I had no idea that he was going to take Karl Anthony Towns and guide him through as a young player.
At the age of 22, yes.
That he was going to be such a phenomenal leader. I had no idea. And by the way, I don't care about the Kyrie storyline. I want the Celtics to play Minnesota in the finals.
That would be the better finals.
That would be by far the better finals. By a million the better finals.
Yes. But
the idea that Doncic is good at basketball.
Selfishly, I want Kyrie in the finals.
Well, they're going to kill him. They would kill him.
I know. That's what I want. I want Kyrie to go down in flames.
And the idea that Doncic is good at basketball and runs for a living is fascinating.
Yes.
I mean, he's just a big fatso, and and slow. And the idea that he's good at basketball is absolutely.
He's one of the top 3 players in the world.
And it's not like it's just amazing. And in the paint, everything. He's all fat and muscling people around. It's very annoying.
And miserable. He's just miserable. He looks like he's having zero fun.
Yeah, and he's always sweating too much.
Leads the close to leading the NBA in technical fouls. He is miserable.
Yeah, he's sweating and yelling, and he's just He reminds me of myself. All right, but you'll recall LeBron James. It's famous. There's people. One of my favorite avatars on Twitter, which is saying something, is the picture of LeBron James laying on his stomach reading. Oh. Remember when he went through the big phase where he was reading every day? He couldn't get enough reading.
Made sure that people were there to see him reading,
and it was always like one of the
locker room.
Always one of the first 2 pages of The Godfather. Which in The Godfather is like Pulp Fiction. Like The Godfather is not this incredible work of art. Like it's not. Ulysses or something.
It's
which
not
I dare
literature.
You to
It's a lot about sex. Is what The Godfather is.
They sold it like at the grocery store. But anyway, you'll recall, Hardy. This is because I have another clip. This is LeBron James talking about his love of The Godfather.
Which is the scene or the moment or the phrase or the quote you like more from the movie?
Oh, from The Godfather. It's too many different phrases and too many different lines in that movie to just categorize one.
But which is the one which inspires you, represents you more?
I mean, each movie is 9 hours long. I mean, what do you want me to do? I mean, there's so many. I don't know. I'll let you pick one, and I'll roll with it. It's a great trilogy.
Oh, well, the idea that you knew it was a trilogy. It's not a great trilogy.
No, it's not. It's a horrific trilogy. It's a great 2 movies, but
I'd say it's a great 1 movie and then a good movie and then one I've never seen.
Which one is the great one and which one is the good one?
Godfather 2 is a superior movie to Godfather 1.
Oh, well done. Well done.
Yeah. I mean, I like the parallel stories. Very hard to follow. Of The Godfather 2.
It's a good trivia question, which I'm giving away right now. But if you ever want to have some fun, say you're just hanging with the boys, right, and you want to ask them a good trivia question, what character is responsible for 2 different actors winning the Oscar for Best
Oh,
Actor
Don Corleone.
for portraying the same character.
Yeah, it would be Don Corleone.
And who are the two actors?
Well, obviously Robert De Niro and Jim J. Bullock.
That's right.
All right, so by the way, like, how could you live in society and not? And LeBron's 40. Like, how could you live in society and not just without ever seeing The Godfather, not know what happens in The Godfather? And by the way, he knew he was sunk as soon as it was an Italian guy.
Leave the gun, take the cannoli.
Yeah, exactly.
With something, anything.
Yeah, anything. But LeBron James is at it again. Thank you to the listener who sent this to me on Instagram at Fred Dutcher. This is LeBron James, uncut. I will let him speak for himself.
Okay.
I play a lot of chess, not in real life.
Okay, so he plays a lot of chess, not in real life.
And we're off.
You can play it on your phone, dude. Like, this isn't like it's not like climbing a mountain. It's not even like playing tennis where you need a tennis court. You can play chess at any point. Anytime. Right now, during the show, I could play chess.
What do you think I do during the commercial breaks? I've got games going on with the same guy, and I'm not good. It's not anything, but once you learn the rules, it's just a game. It's like doing Wordle.
Yeah, my
It's just
son
something to do.
My son that didn't know the mirror from the window is good at chess. He really is. Better than me. I mean, this is not some difficult to achieve thing. This is not running an ultra marathon. This is playing a game of chess. This is having a phone, going to the park, anything.
I play a lot of chess, not in real life. I've actually, a lot of people have told me you should play chess because you'll be great. I've never played chess, but in my mind, in theory.
If only he had free time where he was just sitting around and there was something to do. I don't know, like every plane flight. Everyone goes to me, you should play chess. You'd be really good at it. Everyone says that to you. What conversations are these? Can you imagine running around like LeBron James? You're so smart, LeBron. You should play chess because that's what every smart person does is plays chess. You ever see the weirdos in a chess tournament?
Yes, I have.
I mean, the greatest chess player of all time, neo-Nazi. He's a self-hating Jew.
Well, you're talking about Bobby Fischer, of course. I hope you're not talking about...
I'm talking about Bobby Fischer.
I hope you're not talking about Joe Mazzulla's best friend, Josh Waitskin, who is a junior chess champion and also a jiu-jitsu guy who Joe
I'm
Mazzulla...
sure he's a lot of fun to have some beers with.
He spent some time in a treehouse in Costa Rica.
Josh Waitskin, wasn't that the subject?
Searching for Bobby Fischer.
Thank you. Yes. That's
Joe
Montana.
You had one meal with Mazzulla and he threw that out at you, huh?
Oh, yeah.
He's pretty proud of that, isn't he? He's pretty proud that he's friends with the chess kid.
He said something along the lines of, it's like, I was just, hanging with my friend Josh, and we were talking about this because he relates a lot of stuff to chess. And I said, haha, it sounds like Josh Waitskin. And he said, wait a second, have we talked about this before? And I said, no. And we just kind of stumbled onto it.
And then
it
they
was an
started making
organic
out.
conversation like friends have.
It was that moment you knew you were going to get married.
Well,
Lawrence Fishburne, good movie.
John Waitskin.
Yeah, that's
Josh.
Josh
Waitskin. Josh Waitskin.
And Joe Montana's.
Joe Montana is Waitskin's dad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a terrible movie.
It's a very
good movie.
It's no Color of Money. All right, so here's LeBron James.
I play a lot of chess, not in real life. I've actually, a lot of people have told me you should play chess because you'll be great. I've never played chess.
Are they playing Sweet Dreams for a reason, as if like this is a sweet dream of his to play chess? Sweet dreams are made of playing chess.
Dream one day of taking the 10 minutes it takes to learn the rules of chess.
Really, it's not. It's look at. I can't see things that way. Like my brain doesn't work in a way that I'd ever be good at it. But I certainly know the basic rules. Learn them at a very young age. I couldn't beat either of you. I'm aware of that, but nonetheless, I know how to play.
I play a lot of chess, not in real life. I've actually, a lot of people have told me you should play chess because you'll be great. I've never played chess, but in my mind, in theory, I feel like I play chess on the floor more than anything.
Yeah, I play a Connect 4 on the floor.
Mm.
What's that? The hell?
I play Tiddlywinks on the floor.
Play a lot of chess.
Move me on to any black square.
Not in real life.
Oh.
Actually, you know, a lot of people have told me you should play chess. Because you'll be great. I've never played chess, but in my mind.
In my mind.
Play a lot of chess. I've never played chess. Not in real life.
He is something else, boy.
How can you play a game you don't know how to play in real life in your mind?
I play a lot of chess. I never played chess.
Actually, you know, a lot of people have told me you should play chess.
I wonder if all the pieces are like little LeBrons in his mind. In my mind, in chess, you can go to the moon. I took boardwalk when I played chess.
Play a lot of chess.
Move me on to any black square.
Not in real life. And so to have the ability now to be just like, I pick my spots. Hey, D-Lo, you got it. You know, AR, you got it. You know, it means a lot. Not only for me, but for our ball club.
Yeah, the end is gibberish. But he, you know, every time the ball goes in the, it's like pawn to B4. You know what I'm saying? I play a game I don't know how to play in my mind. That's the way I play it. All right, very good. Thank you, LeBron James, and thank you to the listeners who sent that to me on Instagram. I always appreciate it. It's how we've always gotten a lot of our material. We appreciate it. All right, coming up, Stephen A. Smith on tackling one of the oldest issues that we have. The great Knicks fan, Stephen A. Smith. We will have him in just a moment.
Play a lot of chess. I've never played chess. Not in real life.
You're listening to Toucher and Hope.
Patriots, the Celts, the Revs, and the Bruins. Boston's home for sports is 98.5, the Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines.
Well, the Celtics had last night off, but they'll get back to work this evening as the NBA's version of the Final Four begins. The Celtics play Indiana at TD Garden in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7:30 and the tip-off at just after 8 o'clock on the BetMGM 98.5, the Sports Hub Celtics Radio Network. Kristaps Porzingis didn't practice yesterday. He will not play tonight. The Patriots offseason continued yesterday with the first official day of voluntary organized team activities behind Gillette Stadium. Head coach Gerard Mayo is starting the slow build this September.
Well, it depends what quarterback you're talking about. I would say from a holistic standpoint, it's just about progress. Look, today, it won't be perfect, and I don't expect it to be perfect, but you want to make sure you see these guys going in the right direction from an execution standpoint.
Matthew Judon, Devon Godchaux, Anthony Jennings, Josh Uche, Cole Strange, and Kendrick Bourne all not on the field. Top draft pick Drake May took snaps behind both Jacoby Brissett and Bailey Zappi. In other NFL news, former Patriots wide receiver Devontae Parker announced his retirement yesterday at the age of 31. He signed a contract with Philadelphia a couple of months ago. Red Sox beat Tampa Bay last night 5-0 at Tropicana Field. Rafael Devers homered again, who set a new franchise record by doing so in a sixth straight game. Sox and Rays back at it at the Trop tonight. And Edmonton won in Vancouver last night 3-2 in Game 7. They finished Dallas. I visit Dallas, by the way, in Game 1 of the NHL's Western Conference Finals on Thursday evening. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by East Coast Metal Roofing, the official roofing partner of the Boston Celtics. Mention 98.5 to Sports Hub and get 10% off your new roof. Visit eastcoastmetalroofing.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 the Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Hold everything 98.5 the Sports Hub has to offer in the palm of your hand.
I need that.
Listen live, get breaking news.
I need it.
Download the Sports Hub app.
Now, more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, everybody, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube and then smash that subscribe button, gang. You know what I'm saying? And you can watch us on YouTube right now. Hardy talks to you. He goes on there.
I just logged back on just to see,
we had 90 people at 6.
464.
Holy Moses. I hope Beasley it's like the millionaire's tax in Massachusetts. They're going to have like a fund of funny money in the reserves with this 400 people on YouTube. I mean, you monetize that? You could fill up a small club.
It's not just about the live streaming numbers, Fred. You know this. Don't be coy.
You could fill up a half an Outback Steakhouse. 400 people. All right, Hardy, it's time to get a little sexual. His podcast. He was a man of, he's constant. I'm telling you, there's a green screen behind him. He lives in a green screen prison. He is always on TV or podcasting or on the radio. There is never a moment where he's not being filmed or taped or being broadcast live. So there's only so many things to talk about. You can't talk about sports 24 hours a day. A man has to eat and drink and make love. We have to procreate. It's in our nature. If you ain't humping, you're dying. And let's just say I'm not dying today.
That's a bumper sticker or a T-shirt. I'm not sure which.
I don't care what you do with it. Put it on an effing billboard. Fly it into the moon.
Get busy humping or get busy dying, just like from Shawshank.
And that's why they went after him in the machinery room.
The sisters.
Yeah. That's why they did that. And in the book, it's not disturbing at all. All right, here we go.
But what is unforgivable to a black man is a fake fat ass.
A what?
John, it's something that people that with your proclivities probably are very mixed about. Is it a fake ass or a real ass? To some people, it probably doesn't matter, John. To some people, it's probably just big, 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 big. But to Stephen A. Smith, it has to be a gift from the Lord.
Yeah.
It is a problem that's been sweeping the nation. Are these asses real or mirages? Now, where do you stand?
Implants?
I would imagine.
I told you there's a Lizzo line I don't cross, so I need to know how big you're going.
But I thought that was not an ass size. What if there was a woman with the Lizzo-sized ass but a small waist?
No. If it's a Lizzo-sized ass, I draw the line. It's got to be a little smaller than that.
All right, John. Well, I mean,
hey,
let's
the
just
heart
keep a
wants
running
what
tally.
it wants, Fred.
Yes.
I would like to be able to quantify it a little bit better than just you like what you like.
Well, no, I've drawn the line. Less than Lizzo.
Okay. What about the scale breaker ladies? Do you like them?
They're fine, yes.
BBWs? You like BBWs? Big, beautiful women?
Sure I do.
All right. God.
What's he drinking?
He's just gulping it.
He's gulping his own saliva looking at these asses.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
So much ass.
We are 3 Caucasian males. We need to know. He's going to hip us to the what's going on with the African Americans.
But what is unforgivable to a black man is a fake fat ass. You can't have injections and all of this other stuff in it. We'll know. We'll know.
He's had his hands over so many asses. He peeped so many asses. How would you know, Stephen A? And how could it be safe just to willy-nilly inject things right into your ass? John?
Not a fan. Not a fan.
All of y'all got it going on.
Has there been a pine tar incident in the ass community where they have caught someone cheating?
I have not seen that.
And
no.
the woman jumped up and down until her cheeks flapped?
It can't just look natural. It's got to feel natural. And if it's fake,
All right. This man has felt a lot of asses. I've never felt anyone's ass and thought, is this, and then had to wonder, now my whole world, is it AI? What's going on with this ass?
It's not.
This is like the Matrix. I just took the pill. I'm seeing everything in the 4th dimension.
You got to use all your senses. You got to feel it. You got to look at it. You got to. Yeah.
Now you're getting too literal, and now I'm wondering why guys like asses at all. Because they're the dirtiest part of the body.
come on, y'all. I love y'all. I'm here for y'all. I was raised by women. My sister's here with me right now. My sister Carmen is right there. Did I not judge mommy when mommy got arrested? When she had on that damn wig, did I not judge her?
So he's talking about how much he loves asses, and then he starts saying mommy.
Yeah, what the hell?
I have a feeling there's a place in New Hampshire that might have a new client.
Wow.
If you're a girl and the guy says mommy, that's got to be a bit of an issue.
This is the point of the show, Fred, where a psychiatrist driving into the office this morning stops and says, whoa.
He's just
turns the volume up.
This couldn't be more Freudian. I believe that there's stories written about this from the end of time. Stephen A. Smith's father is a dead man.
I lost my mind with my mother. I couldn't have my mama looking like that. My mother's beautiful. I didn't like that wig. Okay? How all in, my sister all in, dressed in any old way she wants. All in is gorgeous.
Can you picture Stephen A. Smith like you could come in the middle of the night and it's like the Psycho? There's someone in a rocking chair. Who's that lady in the rocking chair? It's me with the mom hat. You know, I'm in a rocking chair in a house coat and a wig. Mommy don't wear that wig. Mom!
Yes.
Mom is in the rocking chair. Don't take a shower or I will stab you.
All in walking around dressing with oversized bummy clothes. I'm like, hell no. You understand? Don't play that. Abigail dressing like a nurse all the damn time. I'm like, look, you ain't in the hospital.
Yeah, I don't know who he's talking about
His
now.
sisters.
Okay.
He didn't like the way his sisters dressed when they were too frumpy or wearing conservative clothing.
Oh, he liked them to be dressed more provocatively.
Abigail would show up wearing those nurses' clothes, and he'd be like,
Stephen A. Smith there's a lot to unpeel here. There's a lot of layers to the onion. Do you have these issues, John? Is that why you love asses so much?
No, I do not have these issues, friend. I'm good.
You have a sister, right?
I do. Younger sister.
Did you want her to dress more provocatively?
No. That was not a conversation we had.
All right, I'm just trying to see if there's
there are no
commonality
parallels here. No.
If there's a commonality between ass lovers.
Suddenly I feel very normal for the first time in a while.
I was an only child, so I had to make up a sister to dress.
Dan O'Brien, do you have any of these issues with your 9 sisters or 142 female cousins?
Every time he goes to a wake, which is 7 days a week. Okay. There's no one alive who goes to more wakes than Dan O'Brien.
Going to one this afternoon.
Are you really?
No, you're not.
I'm going to one this afternoon.
How many wakes have you been to this year?
This year? Probably 8 or 10.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
It's only May.
I've probably been to 3 in my entire life.
Oh.
One this afternoon and one next Tuesday.
Yeah, see some of those female relatives.
Yeah. So he's never seen any of his relatives outside of wearing all black in a very long time.
And a veil, yeah.
Second cousins, third cousins.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with lusting after your third cousin. They're barely related to you.
You understand? Get out there, put on your sexy. You understand? And I tell that to you, too. You understand? That's why Carmen got a man in her life, you know. His name is Darren. You know what I'm saying? Do you know? Let me show you how trifling his ass is. Do you know he don't even look up? He don't even look up. Every time he see my sister.
John, is your sister married?
Yes.
Is her husband trifling?
No.
Well, tell us about his trifling ass, if you could.
Is his ass trifling at all?
Will he look up at your sister, or
is it this guy's trifling, that lady's trifling, everyone's trifling? And if I had to explain to everyone why everyone was trifling, I'd be in a lot of trouble.
He don't even look up. Every time he see my sister. And his eyes are right there, waist high. He can't even bring himself to look up at my sister 90% of the time. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't look at my sister like that. I don't know what she got because I don't look at my sister like that. She's my sister, damn it. But we like what we like. I'm just being real with y'all. Everybody knows it's important. Until next time.
There you go. Thank you, Stephen.
And wig, did I not judge her?
That's
bizarre. But the thing is that he talks publicly 20 hours a day, so just stuff's going to come out.
That's where we're like, maybe it's too much.
That's
maybe
the thing.
It's too much time.
It's sort of why I had to get off Twitter. Is that like too much access to being able to express yourself publicly is not good because you have thoughts. Everyone has thoughts that are probably best left unsaid. Certainly to a public audience, and that is
ladies.
So I cannot blame Stephen A. Smith, but a lot of times you'll have relatives in the room and you'll question why they growing up didn't dress more sexy. Yes. I mean, that's just what happens. I mean, I don't have any siblings, so I can't say. I mean, I often see my cousins and I'm like, my cousin Barbara, I'd be like, Barbara, why are you not wearing a tube top? I need to know. You have these enormous cans. Why can't you wear a tube top for me? No, I'm just kidding. She's dead. All right. But I didn't go to the wake. What kind of cousin am I?
Yeah.
What kind of cousin am I?
Terrible.
I wasn't going to go to Long Island for a wake or a lake. Fluto Shinzawa. He was at the when the walkaway day or whatever the hell it's called for the Bruins.
Sunday morning. Yes.
Exit interviews, and he's going to talk to us about the future of this team. A lot of cap space coming up. Linus Allmark, his future, the future of Jake DeBrusk. So much to talk about. He'll join us in just a moment.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't look at my sister like that. I don't know.
Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Homeowners and
Celtics playoff. You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Goodbye to the team, everyone. And Fluto Shinzawa was there. He's senior writer for The Athletic. We love having him on. He joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Fluto, thank you so much, sir.
You got it. Morning.
Hi, Fluto. So you've been to a lot of these before. What was the vibe around the team this year compared to years past?
Well, I think if we're talking specifically about breakup day, guys, I think with a few days to settle in, that the players at least were encouraged by the season in terms of, I think they took the message that they heard that this was not going to be a playoff team because of all the players that they had lost, specifically Bergeron and Krejci, and they used that as motivation. It was very powerful for them to make it one more round than the 65-win team did. So, yes, they were disappointed, but I think realistically, maybe they wouldn't admit it, but I think we can all say Florida was the better team. And it took a lot, especially with the goaltending, to carry them as far as they did. But overall, considering the shortcomings that the roster had, I think they can be satisfied of making it to round two.
Okay. I mean, there's no doubt Florida was the better team, and they assembled that team in a way that maybe the Bruins could look to emulate. Let's start with the goaltending. Jeremy Swayman, you agree, I've read your columns, Jeremy Swayman's established himself as the goaltender. Linus Ullmark is due $5 million next year. He has a limited no movement clause. How do you see the team proceeding with this? And is it a deal? I've heard different things. Is the trade of Ullmark going to net them something positive, or are they going to have to include something to get the figure off the books? And what will they do?
No, I don't think they would have to put in anything to package with Linus. I think listen, his credentials speak for themselves. Former Vezina winner. I think he was just one save percentage point off of Jeremy during the answer to it. I would guess that there is some volatility mixed in. Let's look, for example, at Winnipeg Jets. They had Connor Hellebuck, who's going to win the Vezina Trophy. Well, I don't know how many goals he let in during the first round, but it was too many. So it's just not a position that is wholly dependable. Let's look at Jeremy this year. There was a stretch after the All-Star break when he came back from Toronto where his save percentage was, I think, it was over a pretty significant sample size. It was below 900 for sure. It was 880, 890, not good enough. And why? You don't know. I'm sure he doesn't know. So it's not a position that you can look at and dependably say, like a forward, okay, this guy's going to get you 30 goals, 40 assists. It's just not. So, we can all say, okay, this guy looks like a clear-cut number one next year, but you can't forecast that with Jeremy and say concretely, this is the 60-game guy that's going to carry the way. It's just not. So I think that is perhaps the biggest reason. But it's a terrific question. It's one I'm looking forward to asking Don Sweeney tomorrow in terms of why historically this has been that way. But it's been that way historically. It's not going to change. I would suspect that the best that you can do for Linus Ullmark, maybe a second-round pick.
Wow. Ooh, okay. That was more than I thought. That's more than that's good.
I'll take it.
I mean, they don't have a pick in the first, second, or third round. All right. So
we were talking about this yesterday too, Fluto, about the value of having a regular season goalie versus the postseason guy. And it requires like a double prediction. Is your guy going to be enough to get you enough wins to get you into the playoffs? Is he also going to be the guy that you can somehow predict will get and remain hot in the postseason, which seems to be a really tough calculus for any hockey team? And which to you would you prefer? Would you rather have the guy knowing he's going to be the guy to get you into the playoffs, or would you look at the guy and say, you know what, I think he's more capable of going on a postseason run and just having a sustained period where he's unbeatable?
Yeah, well, it's so impossible to project. And I think ultimately, it's if you're looking at the position, you want depth, right? Let's just say they trade Ullmark, they go with Swayman, they go with Bussy as your number two. Well, Bussy, he's yet to play one NHL game. And what if Jeremy blows out his knee in October, which he has done before 2 years ago in Pittsburgh? He got lucky. He only missed, I think, a few weeks. But then what happens? Then you're screwed because, okay, that's a real tough ask to put a kid goalie and say, hey, our star goalie is out for who knows how long. Boy, so in that position, that's where you want Allmark. But then you look to the playoffs. Okay, we've seen it's one guy that they're going to ride. That's $5 million that's just sitting there, opening the door on the bench that you could have used toward a skater. So it's a real tough thing. But I think what you can at least safely project is that Jeremy's going to be the guy. You can put in Bussy for probably 30 games, and let's spend that $5 million elsewhere because they need it. They need a center, they need a wing, they need a left shot D. So that's money that can be spent elsewhere. But it's a tough call, very tough.
All right, so there you go with the goaltending. I'm going to ask you about next man up, Jake DeBrusk. He's an unrestricted free agent. It sounds like a team would offer him a significant deal. Is that the case? And what's the Bruins' interest? How are you gauging that?
Well, there's gonna have to be some kind of compromise, both from both parties, right? And I don't think Jake's number is going to go down after the playoffs he had. Leading scorer, was pretty good in all situations, and played up, played down, played left, played right. That's an important player, and Bruins need that kind of presence. Now, is he the goal scorer that he thinks he is? Probably not. This is still, I think 27 is the high, so he's never hit 30. So the price is going to have to go down for Jake to stay here. Versus the Bruins, perhaps they have to give. I'm sure they've had a number in mind all this time and term too. Perhaps they're going to have to come off of that. But the fact that Jake has gotten this far, that says at least his side with his agent, they're projecting that he can get a better deal elsewhere, which is probably true, right? You expand your market from one interested party to 31. Well, by definition, you're probably going to do better on the market. I think Jake is just... he's gone through a lot, and he sounded pretty tired of the whole situation. He said he was stressed out all year because of this. He just wanted to get away. So in terms of his perspective, I see it, okay, maybe it's time. I want my money. I want to get paid. I want some long-term security that might be on the open market, and then that leaves the Bruins shorthanded.
All right, let's just go through some names here that are free agents, and you just give me your opinion if they're going to be back or not. Kevin Shattenkirk.
No.
Matt Grzelcyk.
No.
Derek Forbort.
Nope.
James Van Riemsdyk.
No.
Patrick Maroon.
There might be something there. He said he wasn't at his best, and that's hard, right? Only 2 regular season games after back surgery. So, but he's 36. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right, and Danton Heinen.
That's a tough one. It depends. I think the Bruins would prefer to bring him back short term, at most a 2-year deal. Maybe he thinks he can get more. If he thinks he can get more, he's gone.
All right. Are there are there forwards available free agent wise? Are they going to have to get? Are they going to have to get creative with the trade? How do you think they'll bring in talent this offseason?
Well, at least at this point, Elias Lindholm has not extended with Vancouver. Vancouver, yes, they paid a big price to get him out of Calgary. But at this point, it looks like he's going to be headed to July 1st. So if that's the case, the Bruins would absolutely be interested. That's a very good 3-zone player, 29 years old. Yes, he'll be expensive, and that'll eat up a big chunk of that free dough. But you look at the center position, yeah, that's a priority. Now, if you really want to get looking forward and projecting, well, Leon Draisaitl, he's going to hit the market in a year after this. That is, you talk about Lindholm, okay, the nice player. Draisaitl, whoa, right? That catches your attention. That is like, okay. And what does Edmonton do? Do they risk just letting him walk for nothing? Or do they say, hey, and they might win the cup this year, so maybe he changes his mind, says, I like it here. I like playing with Connor. But if he wants to get paid, he's going to get paid more on the open market than he is in Edmonton. Does Edmonton let him walk for nothing? Ooh, no. And the Bruins have enough to get a player like that on the trade market. That's, I don't know, but you make every effort because those players don't become available every day. So right now, Lindholm probably the best. On the wings, you have Gensel. We all saw Sam Reinhart, how good he was in the playoffs. That's going to be a guy who's going to get paid. That'd be a nice ad, but expensive.
What percentage safe is Montgomery? Is he 80%, 90% safe?
Oh, I think he's coming back.
100%.
Realistically, hey, okay, we can all question, okay, those bad starts, first period, those 2 games against Toronto, some lineup putting Grzelcyk in, Forbert in instead of Wotherspoon. Yeah, but that's nitpicking. Overall, you look at the roster he had, I don't know if anybody would say, okay, this is second place team in the division, is going to win the round. He did a very good job.
Too many men on the ice, too many times, Fluto. That's coaching. Come on.
It's unbelievable, right? We've seen it, but you can't. It's not all on the players. On the coach. We saw Lindholm in whatever game that was in Florida. Just you can't come over the bench and play the puck, Hampus. It's incredible.
Well, he's a rookie, you know. He doesn't understand how things work.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's no experience. All right, listen, Fluto Shinzawa, tremendous job. Look forward to reading in The Athletic your takes about when you hear from Sweeney and you get to talk to Montgomery. We appreciate the time as always.
Yeah, thanks, Fluto.
Got it, guys. My pleasure.
All right,
Take
we
care.
appreciate it. There you go. Fluto Shinzawa. There's going to be a lot of money. And
I still think you can do better than Jake DeBrusk. I still think there has to be a guy out there that gives you what Jake DeBrusk gives you for the cheaper amount of money than he's asking for.
Well, every time I hear about Jake DeBrusk, and I like him, again, I want to reiterate, if he's listening, I like him. I think he's a good guy, but I mean, he doesn't seem to be happy here. He just doesn't seem to like the organization. He didn't like Cassidy, and if he was just worried about his contract all season, I mean, just maybe it's time for a change for both parties. Like, it doesn't mean he's a bad guy, but just, maybe he'd be happier somewhere else. That's all.
It's interesting, though. There are some athletes where, okay, I have to play for my next contract, and they wind up having a big year. DeBrusk admits to everyone that this thing is crawled deep inside his head, and he's obsessing over it. I don't know. I just that kind of player who's wildly inconsistent anyway, being affected that way. I mean,
Let's put it this way, John. They're not winning in the playoffs. Like, losing DeBrusk isn't like some culture changer, right? Like, just like, you got to make some changes. Like, you got to. The team didn't win. They haven't won the playoffs for a while. It's time. You got to start making changes. I'm not saying to trade McAvoy. I'm not saying to trade Pasternak. But, I mean, losing DeBrusk doesn't throw the team into like this tumultuous pit of agony.
Sure. And this is a rebuild on the fly. We thought they'd have to do it last year when you lost Bergeron and Krejci, and they still put together a pretty darn good season. But now we're past that. Marchand is 36. By the way, his contract's up after next season.
Yeah, and he wants to extend, and I got to figure that they'll extend Marchand and he'll take a big hometown discount because there's no way he wants to leave.
Sure, and he'll be the captain until he retires and then venture off into the sunset like everyone before him. But this is an opportunity now, and you mentioned the cap space, where you rebuild on the fly. You actually have some money here. You have some young talent. You have a guy like Mason Lohrei who looks like he's going to slot in real nice with Lindholm and McAvoy for a while.
You have Patra.
You have Swayman. You have the young goaltender that everyone in the league wants. So, I mean, this is...
I mean, they should be better next year than they are this year, and that's up to Sweeney. There's a lot of pressure on Sweeney this offseason because there's an opportunity to be better. Because you're getting rid of a lot of dead weight. And you're getting rid of one of your mistakes in Ullmark. And that's very good news that they could get a second-round pick for Ullmark, because that's way more than I thought. And that's more than other people have said. But Fluto knows his stuff, and I'm going with Fluto on that. If they can get a second-round pick going in this year's draft, God bless, because the cupboard's bare. You get as many picks as you can.
The fact that a Vezina Trophy winner doesn't fetch more than a second-round pick. I understand the theory behind it, but goaltenders as specialists and how volatile they are. The guy just won the Vezina Trophy, and you can't get more than that.
They're willing to trade him. I mean, they want to trade him. All right, we'll be back. Here are the headlines and boner ads.
Sports Hub headlines.
Celtics and Indiana play game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals tonight at TD Garden. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7:30 and the tip-off at 8 here on the BetMGM 98.5 The Sports Hub Celtics Radio Network. Kristaps Porzingis out again for the Celtics. Patriots went through their first organized team activity of the year under new head coach Gerard Mayo yesterday. Kendrick Bourne, Cole Strange, Matthew Judon, Devon Godchow, Anthony Jennings, and Josh Uche among the missing. Former Patriots wide receiver Devontae Parker retired yesterday at the age of 31. And the Red Sox beat Tampa Bay last night 5-0 at Tropicana Field. The big story, Rafael Devers, who homered again and set a new franchise record by homering in his 6th straight game. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the Massachusetts Energy Marketers Association, clean, renewable bioheat fuel. I'm John Wallach at Boston Tone for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
If you've got the app, you've got Spirited Sports Talk.
I have one ear and I got that.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, you've heard about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy, and more, but I want to talk about your sex drive. Because I can't drive 55, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Hagar. Because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy, and isn't that part of what makes life so grand? That intimacy you can have with your partner, and if you don't currently have a partner, the fun of finding one. Isn't that our mojo? There was a whole Austin Powers sequel talking about stealing of mojo. Get your mojo back. Go to northeastmenshealth.com. Take the low T quiz on their website. 10 questions, yes or no. Take you less than 2 minutes. And if you decide that you're a candidate and they think you're a candidate, get an appointment, only $99, which includes medical consult, T and PSA tests. And if you sign up for testosterone treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. So what do you got to lose? Go to northeastmenshealth.com and take that testosterone.
At Metro Credit Union, we're shaped by members, which means
I'm making the most of the money I have.
They don't just know money, they know me and my needs.
I feel more confident about my financial decisions.
Visit metrocu.org. Insured by NCUA, member MSIC.
Passion, dedication, purpose. 3 words that define every diehard sports fan. At Volkswagen, those same values push innovation in our vehicles, like the stylish Tiguan with a suite of tech features designed to help make parking, passing, and driving easier. Or the turbocharged Taos that adds excitement to every drive. And don't forget about the spacious Atlas and all-electric ID4 SUV. Find a vehicle that's easy to root for at your local Volkswagen dealer today.
Hi, this is Tony Brookhouse, one of the owners of Koopman Lumber. We're a family-owned business celebrating our 85th anniversary this year. We've been working with Marvin Windows and Doors for decades and have a team of experts trained in most popular Marvin product lines. Whether on the phone, in our stores, or on your job site, we're here when you need us. Koopman Lumber chooses great partners like Marvin to ensure the success of contractors and their projects. Koopman Lumber and you, building together.
40% of the male population is considered big and tall. 40%. Now imagine there was a place where those 40% could buy clothes that, wait for it, fit them. Crazy, right? At DXL, we make clothes for the big and tall man that fit. DXL. Wear what you want.
Think about how much time you spend at home. Does your home really make you feel great? If not, it's time to change it. Now picture yourself coming home, seeing beautiful new furniture from Jordan's. Eating out or a vacation, those things just come and go. But walking into your room and loving what you see, you'll enjoy that every day. Right now, come to Jordan's Furniture and get 15% off everything, or get up to 60 months with no interest.
Call 1-866-245-4722 for financing details. Restrictions apply. Subject to credit approval.
Dingers, blasts, moonshots, whatever you call them. Everyone loves home runs. So with FanDuel's Dinger Tuesdays, you can love them even more. That's right. Dinger Tuesdays are back for another season on America's #1 sportsbook. Just bet a player to homer, and FanDuel will give you $5 in bonus bets for every home run hit during that game, as if you needed another reason to love the long ball. Visit FanDuel.com/Fred to get in on all the Dinger Tuesday action. That's FanDuel.com/Fred. Make every moment. We are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. I went to my FanDuel app, and it's Hartford City FC at Vallejo FC is what comes up on all events.
All events?
Yeah, it's in Vallejo, and that's at Vallejo FC in Newton. You can see Hartford City FC versus Vallejo FC. I wonder how much tickets to that are. Sold out on their site. I don't know what the hell that even is, why that's on there. I'm trying to see what the get-in price for the Celtics is tonight.
Oh.
On this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to see how, because I'll tell you what, you can go to a Red Sox game for a very, very low price right now. That I like. Have you been to one?
Yes, I've been to one game
Your
this
wife
year.
is responsible of when you get in there.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
She's been to two. I've only been to one.
You can get 2 seats for $104 a piece tonight. 105, 106, 107, 109. That's not bad. This is Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, the Celtics get in. A lot of tickets.
What the hell?
Hovering around 100. You could
Tuesday
go to the Celtics game tonight for the amount of money, less than the amount of. You could get 2 tickets for the Celtics tonight for the amount of money, less than the amount of money it would cost you to get 1 Bruins ticket in the playoffs. All right, enough of this pretending that I mean, guys, I'm scrolling. There's literally hundreds and hundreds of tickets for under $150 for this game tonight.
For game, yeah. It was early, and we noticed like the energy in the building. It was like kind of felt like a regular season game.
Yeah.
And that's reflected now again. It's like people are just looking past Indiana, which I think is foolish.
I think it's more clinching. I told you guys I went to Game 5. I went to the clincher. It was nuts in there for that game.
Right.
So I think early in the series, rightly or wrongly, it's going to be cheaper as they move along. When it's go time to get to the NBA Finals, those would be more expensive.
I don't know, John, because so say they win this in 5, say they come back, like they're probably not going to sweep.
Win
right?
Game 5 at TD Garden.
They might lose tonight, I guess, because they haven't played and they've been. And I just read something in the Ringer that I couldn't get through about like how lackadaisical they've been, and a bunch of statistics proving it, and how historic they were this season. You know how the Ringer gets about the NBA, very technical.
I do,
and I just don't care to follow it. It gets boring. But, there's a chance they could come out tonight and lose. But then I think they win 3 in a row. And then if it comes back to the Garden for Game 5 clincher, the building will be great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about the atmosphere in the building. Hell, the atmosphere in the building will be better if the tickets are $100 because that means better people can get in. It's not going to be, when you're charging, look at what happens in Toronto. When you're charging $500, $600 a ticket, you get a wine and cheese crowd, which is not what's the loudest. So I'm with you. It might be loud inside, but I don't think it's going to be any more expensive. So people obviously, it is funny that this, and it's not me saying it. It's not me saying it, but this team is too good. And the East is too bad. I don't think the problem is the team's too good. It's that the East is too bad. That they aren't playing any stars.
That's right. If you had Giannis and Lillard coming in tonight, tickets would be more expensive. I agree with that.
No, yeah. If you were playing that Milwaukee team, that would be a great series.
But it's not. It's Tyrese Halliburton and.
I heard Michelle Beadle say that the Celtics were boring. I've heard people say that Indiana's the worst conference finals team in I don't know how many years, in like decades. That the path that they've taken, people talked about the path the Celtics have taken. Look at the path that Indiana's taken. They played two teams.
That Atlanta Hawks team a couple of years ago wasn't very good. It made the conference finals. But I understand the point.
Right, but just look at the path Indiana's taken.
Yeah.
It took them 7 games to beat a New York team that was missing legit half their lineup.
Right.
And had one guy playing with basically a cast on his leg. And it took them 7 games to do that. They beat a Milwaukee team that was missing Giannis, which is just like not Milwaukee. And then Lillard decided not to play. And then they had players getting kicked out just because they didn't want to be on the court. So, And this Indiana team's it's like a historically bad defense, correct, Jonathan?
I don't know about historically bad. Bad during the regular season. They weren't last defensively, but they were in the bottom 5.
Okay, you want to get interested? Maybe not from a being at the Garden standpoint, but at least from a game standpoint. Having said that about the defense and about how we think this series is going to go and how Indiana has played all year long, both offensively and defensively, what is the total on tonight's game? Do you already know, John?
I do.
Okay. Fred, do you already know?
No.
What do you think the total would be on tonight's game?
The total on tonight's game, 125. No, 225. 225.
221 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd I say 125? I think it's going to be 60-60.
Betting MGM's a little lower. It's like 220 and a half.
I like the over.
Yeah. I love the over.
Yeah, I like the over, too.
Indiana's not going to keep. I mean, the Celtics aren't going to lose because they didn't score enough points. They're going to lose.
No, the question is, can they slow the other team down?
Yeah.
What happens when Al Horford is out? How can the bench play against all those guys? Because all of them can shoot.
All right, what happened?
And the Aaron Nesmith factor, Fred.
I mean, it is one of these great Celtic stories where the very middling player is getting revenge on the team.
He's going to have one of those games.
How did Miami beat the Celtics? Right? They shot unbelievably from three-point range.
Crazy.
How did Cleveland beat the Celtics? I was at that game.
Yeah.
They were unbelievable. Mitchell was unbelievable.
But the thing is, Indiana just had that game in Game 7
Yes,
against the Knicks. They shot 75% from the field.
Yeah, that's not happening again. But I mean, the Knicks are probably not as good defensively. I'm going to go as far as to say as the Celtics, who might find a way to slow Halliburton down.
Yes.
But nonetheless, they're going to win this series in 5. They might lose tonight.
Yeah. It's going to be 5 at the outside 6. And, Indiana, as you pointed out, has had a pretty easy run of it here.
They've had a historically easy run.
They really lucked out with Milwaukee, with Giannis hurting himself here in Boston and not being available for that series.
And if that Knicks team wouldn't have gotten any push at all or anything if they weren't the Knicks. If it was any other team, maybe the Lakers. But if that's Phoenix or if that's any other market, if that's Cleveland, they're not getting that kind of run. The only reason we know about the Knicks is because they're the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone, as soon as the Knicks get into the playoffs, starts going insane.
I was there the whole
Knick
time.
fans.
I've been following them the whole time. They're awesome.
They're all Knick fans.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. So, look, under $150 with the service fees and everything, that's what shocks you.
Yeah.
But I mean, you get in $300, you and a loved one.
Yeah.
You could bring your niece.
Yeah, Bruins seats were insane. During the regular season, let alone the playoffs, Bruins seats were insane.
Just bring one of your female relatives.
Yeah.
Just tell them don't, dress up and go against their natural beauty.
Did I not judge Mommy when Mommy got wrestled when she had on that damn wig? Did I not judge her?
And when you're going out there and you see Holiday running the point, it's like a game of what? It's like a game of chess.
Oh.
Actually, a lot of people have told me you should play chess because you'll be great. I've never played chess, but in my mind.
Someone called in to say, he's playing chess on the court. That's what LeBron's saying. You're wrong, Fred. And I didn't take the call, but the way I would answer that is, how can he play chess on the court if he doesn't know how to play chess?
Play a lot of chess. Not in real life.
For all you know, his game of chess could be microwaving cantaloupes and putting holes in them. Like, you don't know how he plays chess. It could be juggling silicone bags. I don't know how he plays chess. Like, how do you, like, if you never played chess, like, if you've never seen the color red, how do you describe red?
Microwave.
You've never microwaved produce?
No.
Yes.
I have not.
It takes it to another level.
Huh?
Squish. Squish.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Just giving that cantaloupe what for?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Is Stephen A. going to be here this week? Yeah.
No, if the Knicks were here, he would have been.
Stephen A. part of the ESPN crew.
And plus, now you don't have to do it from a studio. Back when you had to do radio from the studio, it was great. Stephen A. Smith would broadcast from our studio.
We had him in, right?
Yeah.
At the beginning,
he was great. That's when I liked him because I thought he was going to be a prick, and we told him that like we were doing some contest where he was like the prick.
He was a nice guy,
and he was like loved it. It's actually quite a good. That's why I like him so much is because he, completely is just like I want you to think I'm a prick, but that's what I want.
Way 100% of the time, you're like, oh, thank God.
I think he's pretty self-aware.
Yeah, he's completely self-aware. Like that's when you meet someone and you're like, oh, you're this heightened version of yourself, and that's how you make money. But now that I'm talking to you, you're incredibly aware. This is how I make my money. That's what you want from someone. You want that transparency. All right, very good. Apple. Do you know Apple? They make music for no reason now. When was the last time you downloaded a song from iTunes?
Oh, download? No.
You know who still does that is Adam Adam 12 because he feels guilty about not paying the artist. He's a big Bandcamp guy.
Oh. See, I make up for it by subscribing to like 3 different streaming services, and I'm pretty sure at least 2 other people in my house do the same. I really got to get one of those apps that like tracks what you're being charged on a monthly basis.
Yeah, there's a swarmy guy that says you should do that. He comes on the TV. Yeah. And it's like, what do you think, you young punk? Don't tell me what app to download, you piece of garbage. I'm older than you.
I get the artist paid by paying the streaming services multiple times.
Besides Spotify, what do you have?
Amazon Music, Apple Music.
Is Amazon Music more than just being a Prime member?
Yeah, there's an additional fee.
Oh.
I think.
And then what? You have Apple Music too? Why? What? Spotify has everything.
I don't know.
They even have Jay-Z now.
I don't know.
H to the Izzo, John to the Bootay. All right, they've come out with their 100 greatest albums, so that's it. It's the definitive list. No more debate. Well, anything that comes out from now on doesn't count.
They're up to 20. They're releasing it in pieces, but a few things I think you'll be happy about in the first 80 or so.
All right, I look forward to hearing all about it. We'll have that for you.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sport.
Hardy, as we are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Watch us on YouTube, please. Jesus Christ, watch us on YouTube. I got a sexy little outfit on today. Search 985thesportshub.com. I wore something just for you. Go to 985thesportshub.com and watch my little outfit. I'll jingle it for you. I'll shake it. Come on, sailor. Want a good time? Are you in the camp of Hunger Strike being a good song or a funny song when you hear Chris Cornell?
Oh, I think that, and specifically some Alice in Chains stuff that I listen to now, I think of it as being funny.
Because I love Soundgarden. I don't know how you could dislike Soundgarden. Like, they have songs that are undeniable. But Hunger Strike, just with any, it's like the heightened version of Vedder being the most Veddery, and then Chris Cornell just vomiting. Like, he obviously was on an amphetamine run during that. Very difficult to match.
It's too much. And then I was listening to Angry Chair the other day, the Alice in Chains. Like, first of all, sitting on an angry chair. Yeah. No. I don't want to listen to that anymore. There's plenty of other stuff. I'll listen to Soundgarden, Bad Motorfinger, and Super Unknown, and Down on the Upside, pretty much start to finish to this day. But some of that stuff, yeah, Temple of the Dog, some of the Alice in Chains stuff, it seems a bit caricaturish of the whole genre.
The lead singer from Bikini Kill has just come out, the wife of Adam Horovitz, has just come out with a memoir. She's from Olympia, Washington.
Yeah.
Where a lot of these bands are from. And she said that she came up with the reason it's called Smells Like Teen Spirit is because of her. That she was with Kurt Cobain and they had gone to a drugstore and she was like, what does this smell like anyway? And she started spraying Teen Spirit on him. If you don't know, Teen Spirit was a deodorant for young ladies. And she started spraying it on him. And then she wrote Kurt Smells Like Teen Spirit on the wall. And that is why the world has Smell Like Teen Spirit. And Steve Albini was in a band called Rape Man and was rude to the woman from Bikini Kill.
Oh. But Kurt walked into that room, the story that I heard is probably just another version of the same one you heard, and saw that was written on the wall, and he thought it was something cool. Like, somebody had written that about him, like, oh, that means I'm in touch with today's youth. And they said, no, you literally smell like the Teen Spirit deodorant. And he still thought it was funny. And that's how they came up with the name for the song.
Well, so he's not giving the woman from Bikini Kill her credit.
Well,
I guess you'll have to ask the person who's alive.
Okay, all right. Well, Apple Music has been releasing their top 100 best albums of all time. Now, this, according to who? They have assembled a team of experts, including Maren Morris. Do we know who Maren Morris is?
No.
All right. Pharrell Williams.
Okay.
We know Pharrell.
He's really happy.
Pharrell Williams brought out a sack of weed. I was backstage at a, what was that band he was in? Remember the Pharrell band? NERD. When he was in NERD. And
Foreigner.
The other guy in NERD tried desperately to hit on my then girlfriend. Became my wife, was just very, in a comedic way, was hammered. And just like during the interview, like just not, like just like I want this woman and I am making it very well known because I am another guy in NERD that's not Pharrell Williams. And I went backstage to interview Pharrell Williams and he was very, very cool. It was pre-hat era. It was when he just had the skateboard necklace. And he went to a Red Bull cooler backstage at the amphitheater and pulled out, I'm not lying, when it was like a loose pound of weed. Like, you know how a pound is like in a brick usually? It's not that impressive. It was like a pound in like a freezer bag. Like a loose pound of weed. Like, and he brought it out. He's like, do you want to smoke? And I never really smoked weed because it made me paranoid. But the joy on the man's face and the sheer amount of marijuana at his disposal.
Can't pass that up.
I smoked marijuana with the man.
Nice.
Wow.
What do you want to know out of me?
Well, that gets mentioned in this article.
Yeah, I figure I just want to make it about myself.
Mark Hoppus, Honey Dijon, and Nia Archives, as well as songwriters, producers, and industry
So the
professionals.
Descendants obviously have one of the top 100 albums, considering Mark Hoppus admits he ripped them off for the sound of Blink-182.
Not a lot of punk so far in here. There is one Clash
top 20
album,
still
London Calling, of course, in the top
Combat Rock's not the one?
top 80 albums so far. But just a little guessing game here, boys. See if you can figure out what songs have made the list so far and what
Kathleen Hanna
has not. We'll start at number 99. An album that is 26 times platinum, came out in 1976.
Okay.
It's actually the second best-selling album from this band of all time.
Okay, 1976.
Okay.
It went how many million?
26 times platinum.
All right, so it's not Saturday Night Fever.
And I'll tell you, their greatest hits album is their best-selling album.
It's an Eagles album.
Oh, that's Hotel California, right?
Yeah, because the Eagles' greatest hits the Eagles' greatest hits was the best representation of the CD. Because remember when we're old. Remember when CDs came out?
Oh yeah,
You probably remember the first CD you bought, right?
Yeah, it was Boston.
I bought Van Halen 1 and GBH's album by GBH. And I bought them too. I remember where I bought them. I remember buying them. I don't remember anything. And I remember buying those two things.
And by the way, I bought Boston because there were like 5 CDs available. I'm like, oh, I like this band, and I was listening to a lot of classic rock at the time. This will be my first CD.
And that's why they put them in. They wanted to kill as many trees as possible. They said, sure, the CD's this size, but this is a lot of box that we're not going to use. We're dating ourselves again. But and what our parents did was they went, oh, CDs, the sound quality, and they went, I don't like any music, so I'm just going to take the Eagles' greatest hits. Yeah. And it was really just because it existed. Mm-hmm. No one likes the Eagles' greatest hits. No one listened to the Eagles' greatest hits. It was your kids wanted a CD player, and you were going to buy a CD, damn it. And look the Eagles are a band, and I don't know them well enough to pick an album. So I'm just going greatest hits. It's not good when your best-selling album is your greatest hits album. It shows you. Now, it's good for your pocketbook.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not good for your legacy as an artist. I will tell you that.
At number 96, this is the first LP I ever purchased. I wasn't allowed to play it in the house when my dad was around, but it is not the original lead singer of the band, but is definitely this band's best-known album. Another classic rock artist.
Back in Black.
Wow, very good, Fred.
That's very good.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right. At number 51.
It was because of the word black that your dad wouldn't let you listen to it?
Yeah, that's right.
Did he think it was
exactly right.
the streets of Harlem?
Very racist.
Okay.
And he said that we weren't even allowed to wear the color black in my home. Very good, Fred.
You weren't allowed to turn off the lights.
What I have to believe is the first entry on the Apple Top 100 album. Turn on the lights. At number 51, an artist who also made a concert film based on this album. And he absolutely has to have another album or even 2 on this list.
Oh, he absolutely has to have. Yeah. Prince. Prince. Purple Rain.
Purple Rain should be on this list,
but should be higher. Another concert film
by an artist. A concert film.
Didn't he make a concert film out of this one, Dan?
Oh no! Oh, the question sullied. Oh, it's not.
I was kind of giving you the side eye. I don't think so, Hardy.
Right,
a concert film.
All right, not Purple Rain. The other Prince album on the list.
Under the Cherry Moon. 1999?
Nope.
Sign of the Times.
Emancipation.
I don't like Sign of the Times.
I like Sign of the Times, but not as much as Purple Rain.
I've tried to like it. I can't tell you how many times I tried to like Sign of the Times, but I don't like the electronic music in the background.
Sign of the Times is a 1987 American concert film directed, scored, and starring Prince, so you can all suck it.
I don't think I didn't even know the answer. You're calling me out on something I didn't even do. That's all Dan. Don't say you all can suck it. Jonathan and I didn't know. We're innocent. I don't like this album. I've tried. I don't like that
do
song.
Like this album.
Yeah, I know. I'm the one.
Yeah.
I tried. I'm not trying to be difficult. I really did try.
I hope Purple Rain is
It's got to be
top 20 easily.
Top 15.
Yeah.
I won't insist upon the top 10, but it's got to be top 15.
Okay,
number 49. Another an Irish band with their first appearance. Maybe their only appearance on the list.
It's obviously
Murphys.
Thin Lizzy.
Dropkick Murphys,
It's
of course.
Thin Lizzy Jailbreak. And I can't stand this band either. For many reasons, not the least of which is I took a young lady to their show. We stood on the soundboard with Michael Stipe from REM.
Yeah.
And I dropped her off at her house, and she got out of the car and said, "See you later." I never even hooked up with her. Not that she owed me anything.
No, not at all.
But it was disappointing.
Finally, sadly, probably the only album from this artist, which has already been referenced in this conversation, the only album from this artist, my guess, will be represented in the top 100. Again, we're up to the top, they've got the top 80 right now.
Mm-hmm.
In at number 48, not only considered by most to be this group of artists' best album, but one of the best albums of all time. It's actually criminal that it's only number 48. And we've already referenced one of the people in this band already today in this conversation.
Oh, boy. Oh, in this conversation leading into this, or in the conversation of the top 100 albums?
It was a music-related conversation.
Yeah.
You mentioned one of the people involved in this group, and this is, you would consider it their best album, Fred. I think it's their second best album. It is a masterpiece of production.
Oh, so it's going to be Nirvana, and it's good.
Foo Fighters.
It's one of my favorite albums. It's my favorite album of all time. It's Paul's Boutique. If they released an instrumental album of Paul's Boutique today, people would still be like, DJs would be like, "Oh my God, what the hell is this? This is amazing."
Oh,
that's how good it is.
Yeah, and the song sampled just in Shake Your Rump. Funky Snakefoot, Super Mellow, Tell Me Something Good, Born to Love You, Dancing Room Only, That's the Joint, Get Off by Foxy, Eighth Wonder by Sugar Hill Gang, Rock the House to Be, but there are 12 samples just in that one song.
On Fridays, like 12 years ago, for like 2 years, all we did was play source material from Paul's Boutique. We just played the source samples coming in and out of breaks on Funk Fridays. That's the genesis of Funk Friday, was just to play the source material from Paul's Boutique.
That's great. That's nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that.
Do you want me to
That's my idea, by the way, for these extra channels they have on satellite that you only get on your app. I call it the sample channel, where you play a song, and then right after that you play the song that uses the main sample.
They do that.
Right?
They do that on Rock the Bells. They do that on LL Cool J's thing. They do a segment called The Sample, where LL talks about the song and the part of the song that it was sampled.
Well, you could play like Primitive Radio Gods that that use the B.B. King sample. The standing outside.
I hate that song.
But then afterward, you play B.B. King's "How Blue Can You Get?"
Oh, do I hate that song?
The B.B. King one?
No, I don't know the B.B. King one, but I've been down hard, baby.
Ever since the day we met.
Oh, I hate that song.
What's really embarrassing is at the end of that song when he starts singing, and it's like, no, just let B.B. King do the sample.
Right.
Don't you do it.
Do you want to? That was when like white people were like, "All right, now let us step in and ruin everything." That was the Moby
for a while.
Of course.
Well, no, they did what they did to what we've done to the blues and what we've done to everything else, and that's when Moby and like Dildo McGee with Christopher Walken all like walked around. This we can play on the radio. The black like Dilla, like Donuts, we cannot play, but a little bald guy, white guy, will play it.
Sure.
I mean, think about that. Moby became a star, and Dilla's Donuts was unplayed on the radio.
Yeah.
And Dilla's Donuts is this like album that's taught in colleges by like orchestral people. Like they teach it.
Yeah.
It's called Dilla Beats. I saw something with a symphony talking about a Dilla beat. That album, not recognized until, well, he died like the day after it was released, but not recognized for like a decade after. But we were listening to Fatboy Slim and Moby. Shame on all of you. And look at Moby now. He's got dumb animal rights tattoos.
How you feel about Fatboy Slim?
I just told you.
Well, you're talking about the Moby stuff, too.
Yeah, but they're both in the same boat. Did you see the Boston Beatdown video of when the guys, Moby comes out of the limo and those dudes from those like FSU kids come up and like hit him in the face?
No.
Yeah, Moby comes out. You never watched the Boston Beatdown videos when you were younger? We watched them in Atlanta.
No.
Yeah. We played the donuts. I can do whatever you want.
I think Camille Yarborough is the woman who did Take Your Praise, and Fatboy Slim turned that into Praise You. I think she's still alive, and I hope she's got $1 million.
Oh, I want to praise you like I should, yeah.
Yeah, because without that's these songs don't exist at all. There's nothing. Those songs are not there without the sample.
The Beatles and the Rolling Stones, what do they do? They're like their first albums are just, especially the Stones. I think their first couple albums are literally just cover albums of old black blues songs.
Yeah. Well, and Led Zeppelin took a lot of their stuff too.
Yeah, and then the Beastie Boys took the Led Zeppelin beats, and here we are. But the Beastie Boys, I don't think, co-opted rap music as much as they helped move it forward. So there's a difference. Yeah. We can't judge based on skin tone. It is only a fraction of what it is. And inside, we are all the same. It is only a layer, fraction of an inch. Why do we judge? Well, we should judge is on the size of your ass.
Amen, brother.
All right. We'll be back. We will read.
Rock the cut. It's Super Butts.
Okay.
We will. We will. We will be back in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
is out as trade partners. It is why the Bruins have had such difficulty moving Linus Ullmark. They've tried to trade him multiple times. He has rejected those trades. They've only got half the league they can work with, which means your ability to get back what you might like for him is diminished. The teams that are eligible know that you're in a tough position. And if you're the Bruins and you want to spend money, you've got to be willing to let him go.
Dulac and Bertrand, weekday mornings at 10 on the Sports Hub. You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, and we appreciate when you... The LeBron clip we played today of him playing chess was sent by a listener. The Stephen A. Smith stuff has been sent by many, many, many listeners. We appreciate all of it. It's always how this show, and every show I've been on, has acquired a great deal of our audio since the advent of the internet.
Well, I like it. It's organic. You know, we're all listening to the same things, and it's natural.
It's got to feel natural.
Yeah.
When you first got into radio, when I first went to Atlanta, there was a guy, Jimmy Barron. I'm still friends with him. I ended up working with him, but he did the morning show. And he used to come in and spend hours and hours and hours, like on a VHS machine, just dropping audio into the system, movie clips into the system.
Yeah.
Like it took forever.
Oh, yeah.
By the time I came around to do more, that was like the tail end of it. And then by the time I came around, it was easier. But even when we came to Boston, we had to do our street audio with a mini disc player.
Sure.
Which I contend never took off. It was the Betamax of portable recording devices.
There were three formats. I think they were mostly broadcast. There were mini discs. There were digital audio tapes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, DAT tapes. Yep,
that was a big thing. And then there was the thing that used the SIM cards, which was also like
I used to use those.
Yeah, those were big. And I still have digital audio tapes. Like you can find a cassette deck somewhere. Probably pretty easily. You know, VHS machines, you can find that. Like, good luck. I haven't looked for a digital audio tape player. I have no need to. I mean, I just have, like, stuff archived on it, but I'm sure I'll never listen to that again.
Oh, I got for Christmas one year, I had my parents put all my old Betamax tapes of me growing up on the DVDs, and I had spent a fabulous 5 minutes watching it. And now I couldn't tell you where they were if you put a gun to my head.
You asked them to do that?
Yes.
Oh.
Because I told you when my parents moved to Tennessee 20 years ago, they had someone come in and pack the house up. Fred, what do you mean pack the house up? They have spices from when I was a kid still in. I mean, they have stuff from Pittsburgh in 1975 still in the house. And I'm not joking. How about a cigar box filled with old felt pens and pencils? That's in their attic. So they had someone pack up legitimately everything in their home, ship it to Tennessee, and a lot of which was put in the attic. And my mom would go up to the attic because we're going to throw some things out. They never did. They never have. But I would go up in the attic, and one time I found this like huge box of Betamax tapes, and I'm like, oh, I bet you there's like who doesn't want to see videos of themselves as a kid? This might be fun. Da 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 da. And then they made it, and it's like my mom, like, you know, like Katharine Hepburn in later days, like shaking all around. It looks like there's been an earthquake, like, you know, some boring kid's baseball game, and I watched 10 seconds of it.
Your birthday party?
Well, I had
happy birthday to you.
There's one of my grandfather, and he's picking blueberries, and he gets lost.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know where he is.
No, man, look at the loons. Fred running around screaming at his mother.
Did I not judge mommy when mommy got arrested when she had on that damn wig? Did I not judge her?
Oh, I adore her.
You're doing the shakes perfectly, too. That was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Jane Fonda, you go to Vietnam and sympathize.
I'm not. I remember watching the Morton Downey Jr. show. Do you remember?
Of course,
this?
He would smoke.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes, and he did a whole episode of Jane Fonda. I'm like, what is all of this? Because I'm like 12, and I have no idea about Jane Fonda's, Vietnam experience. Mm-hmm. But he is still so pissed off, and this is mid-late 80s.
Yeah.
And finally, by the end of the episode, he's just given up trying to, maintain any semblance of objectivity, and he's wearing a T-shirt that says, I'm not Fonda Hanoi Jane. And I'm watching this guy, and I'm like, wow, he's really angry about this, and I still don't know what he's talking about.
It was no Joe Franklin show on WOR, but it was on WOR. Hello, I'm Joe Franklin. Welcome. I got a very messy desk. But the best about Jenny Jones and Morton Downey Jr. is that they would just have an episode, big boobs, and it was just women with big boobs, and then there would be, they'd have to interview them. And then the Jenny Jones episode, which got me interested in feet, was foot fetish guys.
There you go.
And the guy sang the song, I love feet. I love feet. Feet just can't be beat. And then Jenny Jones had staff members come out and put their foot around the gentleman to see them get excited. That can be watched on YouTube.
Okay.
And then someone killed someone, which actually happened in the Jenny Jones episode. Go ahead.
Email from Richard Thackeray. Fine use of the band Yes today in the LeBron bit. LeBron playing chess.
Play a lot of chess. I've never played chess. Not in real life.
Not in real life. But no Yes albums, by the way, on that top 100 list.
Really? They've ignored progressive rock completely.
They have.
Were there any Rush albums?
No.
Not Moving Pictures?
No Rush album
Not yet, Fred.
No,
We're only at number 20.
Yeah, now we're getting in the top 20. So I would expect 90125. I would expect 2112, Moving Pictures, and of course Hold Your Fire to be in the top 20. But Rush will probably have 3 albums in the top 20. Oh,
Sure.
Presto, 4.
I dare you to put on Rush Hemispheres and last more than 2 minutes.
Power Windows 5. Signals 6.
Power Windows.
Don't last on Signals. I like that movie.
Power Windows,
I like
a
that album.
grave predictions for the Earth. We are going to fall into nuclear fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler says, is Dan Roach Tony P's father? I'll keep it short and simple. Same cadence, same voice, same annoying charm. He's the father, right? Love you, Fred. Notice he says no one else.
This is from Brett. Jay Stu, Matt McCarthy, and Jaromir Jagr all go out to eat lunch at a restaurant. I would love to hear what that first conversation is about when they sit down at the table.
Whoa, it's Jay Stu, Jagr, and Matt McCarthy.
Matt McCarthy. Yep. I'd love to hear what that conversation is like, Fred.
Hello, sir.
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
No, I'm here to help you. Is this going to be all together or separate checks today?
Oh, Jesus.
Mr. Stewart, thank you for joining us.
You know what
Will
I
this
said
be all
about
together?
You know what I said about this Red Sox season? Check, please. I'll take my check in April. They stink. Hey. I don't know. Hey, Jagr.
You've got it.
Hey, Jagr. I heard you used to skate with no shirt on and weights around your ankles. You know who used to wear tassels around their ankles? None other than the nature boy Ric Flair. Where is your mother? There you go. Thank
There you go.
Hey!
You got all 3.
That's a tough one.
got all
That
three.
was very
It
good.
was excellent.
Joe says, I despise all things Apple, and the fact that Dark Side of the Moon is number 28 on their all-time album list cements that. Let me guess, being Apple, they'll put Taylor Swift in the top 10 and some stupid Drake album in the top 15. I bet there's no Public Enemy or NWA or Slayer anywhere in the top 20, but I'm glad
Public Enemy, they have to have an album in the top 100, and it's going to be It Takes a Nation of Millions.
Bingo, number 34.
There you go.
They would have to have that in there. Slayer, they might have Rain and Blood like in the 90s do it.
I didn't see Slayer. Snoop, Eminem, Fitty, and Wu-Tang. You know what album Wu-Tang? What Wu-Tang?
36 Chambers,
and,
is, of course.
Correct. In it, number... Oh, they should have put him at 36. They put him at 37.
They just did that to be cute.
Yeah.
But NWA don't have one of the greatest albums of all time.
And NWA's Straight Outta Compton's in there, I think. I'll go back and double check. What's that?
Why?
Dan O'Brien?
Nas had Illmatic at 39.
Yeah, Illmatic is considered a masterpiece, of course, and that is what Jay-Z in The Takeover said. He only had one masterpiece, and everything else he said was no good.
NWA, Straight Outta Compton, number 70. Metallica's Master of Puppets is 69. Obviously, we didn't get to all of these. But Is This It from The Strokes, number 68.
Oh, wow. That's an album I never bought. The people insisted on The Strokes a little too hard.
Let me tell you.
Never quite happened.
Let me tell you. I saw them live. They were the best sounding, best mixed live band maybe I've ever heard outside of, like, Dwight Yoakam would bring in like some of the best live musicians ever to like play shows with him. His band was phenomenal. But in terms of the actual mix, it was loud, it was crisp, it was unbelievable how good the Strokes sounded. I'm like, I'm enjoying this quite a bit for a band whose music I don't care much about.
I saw them at the House of Blues in L.A.
How did they sound?
They sounded like kids whose dads had a lot of money.
Yeah, like a lot of money to spend on the production and the mix and everything else. They were phenomenal. And they were playing. They were playing live, you could tell.
Julian Casablancas, big Mets fan. Not afraid to throw out the first pitch. Not afraid to have the same haircut.
No.
All right, very good. We will have the stat coming up for you as it is sponsored.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's sponsored.
Yes.
We're running like a nitro top on this show. We'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines.
Playoff basketball back at TD Garden tonight. The Celtics face Indiana in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7:30 and the tip-off at 8 on the BetMGM 98.5 The Sports Hub Celtics Radio Network. Kristaps Porzingis out again after missing practice yesterday. This, as they say, just in. The NFL Network is reporting at this hour that Patriots starting left guard Cole Strange is expected to miss at least the beginning of the upcoming season and may be out until mid-season, thanks to the knee injury he suffered last season. The Patriots offseason continued yesterday with the first official day of voluntary organized team activities behind Gillette Stadium. Cole Strange not there, along with Josh Uche, Anthony Jennings, Devon Godchow, Matthew Judon, and Kendrick Bourne. Also, the Red Sox beat Tampa Bay last night 5-0 at Tropicana Field. Rafael Devers another homer and set a new franchise record by doing so in a 6th straight game. Sox and Rays back at it tonight. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Dr. Matthew Lopresti and Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, the hair doctor of Hardy and Brian Scalabrini at 1-800-GET-HAIR. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 10 o'clock.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 98.5sportshub.com.
on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. The Stack is brought to you by Best Ford in Nashua. Looking for great deals on new Fords? Go to the Best First, Best Ford in Nashua. Head to the bestfordnh.com. Johnny, there's news. There's Patriots news.
There is. We just had it in the last update. This is from Ian Rappaport. Patriots starting guard Cole Strange, who is still dealing with a significant knee injury suffered late last season, is expected to miss the start of the 2024 season and may be out until the middle of the season, sources say. He has started every game he's played in New England. Starting left guard, so expect a lot more of City So from now until November.
Well, if there was a positional group you could afford an injury on, it would be the offensive line.
Right.
Cole Strange continuing to pay dividends, the 29th pick in the 2022 draft. ESPN's third-ranked guard in that draft, yet the first guard off the board. No, he wasn't. I'm sorry. Kenyon Green was the first guard off the board. Cole Strange was sitting there, and think of all the production you've gotten out of the man.
Yeah.
There's no one else you could
plug and play, Fred. Plug and play.
Again, when you take a guard in the first round of the draft, the idea is that you will never hear of that position again. That man for the next 10 years will man that position, and that's it.
And hopefully you won't be talking about him at all.
No,
because you're only going to be talking about him if he screws up
or if he gets injured.
Right.
So usually you take like Frank Ragnow for the Lions, they take the center. It's the center. That's all. And then what did you hear about him? He was all banged up in the playoffs, so you heard about him. You don't want to hear about him anymore.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So
we got to move this along. They may need more help at home today. I had to help out the.
Oh yeah.
I had to help out.
No construction workers.
I had to help out the guys. They're not construction. They're landscapers.
Oh, sorry, the landscapers.
I love when people come to do work and ask me to help.
Yeah,
that's hold the TV.
They need a box hedge trimmed. What's the problem?
This is the difference, Fred. They never want our help. The difference between you and me is I hang around long enough and offer to help until there's finally something that I can do. And lo and behold, it happened last night. There was something that I did.
Did you wear a sexy little outfit and kind of strut around for the pool boy?
No.
Did you tie your T-shirt in a knot?
But my friend Jen, we've been planning this for a couple of years, doing landscaping, planting some trees and all this stuff. And Jen does landscape design. You see her on Ask This Old House.
Of course, right? Absolutely.
Okay. So we're standing there yesterday, and she points up at one of the Bobcats, kind of at the end of the day. She's like, wow, that light is on. The orange light on top of the Bobcat is on. I'm like, I'm sure they know. I'm sure it's fine. Whatever. Everybody leaves. Frank Walsh and his whole crew, they all leave. I go out later that night. The orange light is still on. I'm like, oh, boy. This could be a problem. This could be a battery drainage or something. Mm-hmm. So I text Frank right away. I'm like, hey, Frank, orange light on top of the Bobcat. And just so he knew which one I was talking about, because there's a couple pieces of machinery, I said it's the A300, and I sent him a video of the blinking beacon.
The A300.
Do you not believe me, Fred? Do you want to see the video I sent Frank Walsh last night?
You're like a 4-year-old with Tonka trucks.
Right there. I sent him that video.
And by the way, it's no nighttime. It's light as it is now.
It's evening, but you could tell the light was on. You couldn't really even tell before. And I said,
that's a close-up picture of the light.
Yeah.
That's you're 2 feet away from the light. You couldn't do the whole Bobcat.
Because the dream is that it's on. And that he can go in and start maneuvering it around like a big boy.
It was at 6:18 p.m. I text him.
I want to move the dirt. Can I move the dirt? I would like to move the dirt. That's big machine.
What's this lever do?
So he ghosted me for an hour. So I text him again. I said, that's the light on top of the Bobcat A300, by the way. BTW. Finally, he texts back with the oh my God emoji. He's like, all right, I'll swing by and take care of it. And I said, no. You can walk me through it and I'll turn it off. Now, at this point, Frank did not know I had already climbed up in the Bobcat and tried to turn the light off, but I couldn't find the frickin' switch.
That's too bad.
So
all right.
We got on the phone, and he told me where to find it. It's behind the rear view mirror. There's a whole nother panel of switches and levers and buttons and stuff hidden by the rear view mirror. I found that sumbitch. I got that light turned off. Did I save the entire project? probably. I don't want to talk about it, though. I don't want any credit for it.
Sure.
I'm just saying.
I mean, so if you get like a 2-ton piece of equipment out there and you have about a 2-inch by 2-inch light occasionally blinking, I got to imagine that battery's probably going to burn out in about, I don't know, a few years.
I was going to say about 2 decades.
Do you know, Fred? I don't know. You don't know.
No, I don't. I would leave him alone. I would think his time is worth more.
Thank God Heathcliff Huxtable and his tool belt showed up.
And I went out there and turned it off.
Watch
and
your drink around this guy.
Who knows? You know what? I'll find out if it would have drained the battery overnight. I don't know. In the A300, I don't know what size battery that thing's got. Bet DOB knows. What size battery in an A300 Bobcat?
I do not.
Oh.
Heavy machinery is not my thing. I know it gets you going, but nope.
Just let me.
Did you? What? How old were you when you stopped playing with trucks?
What do you mean? How old am I now?
Did your kids play with trucks?
No.
You didn't buy them a bunch of trucks?
Oh, yeah, I did. They didn't care anything about them.
But how was that the first thing you went on and bought? Like I remember I was with Adolfo and I went to Target. We were walking around Target for something, and Milo wasn't even born yet, and I bought a mitt.
You bought him for Adolfo.
You see, I thought that's where you were going to.
I got him a toy every week. That's how I paid him. Of course. As I would get him a nice shiny thing.
Here's some Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I would get him Pokemon cards and some silly putty. I go, you can pick up the comics.
Yeah.
But did you buy him trucks? Was that the first thing you bought?
It's one of the first things, sure. I mean, when they're beyond babies, infants, yeah, like the big plastic, baby-safe trucks, yeah.
Would you watch Thomas the Train go, you like that? Like, let's go, watch the train go by and, skid out to other station to station?
It's pretty amazing how they very early on gravitate toward what they like and what they want. So I didn't try all that long because, no, they start liking whatever it is they want to like despite what you want them to like.
It's like my kids went for the symphony right away. Like the minute, because I'm like, when you're a toddler, I'm going to take you to the symphony.
You beat that into them, yeah.
Oh, they loved it.
Yeah.
They loved the strings, the magic.
All right, actual stack items. Scotty Scheffler's arraignment has been rescheduled for June 3rd. He was arrested on Friday, of course, on 4 counts, including second-degree assault on a police officer, which is a felony. His attorney says, I've been defending criminal cases for 30 years and have learned never to be surprised. When asked if he thought on a possible outcome, whoever reported the charges were going to be dismissed was not accurate.
You would think you'd be able to afford better than just a court-appointed lawyer. I mean, he's just got some kid just fresh out of law school representing him. I mean, he doesn't seem very confident.
He has an actual lawyer, so he will.
He's not brimming with confidence.
He doesn't seem. Yeah, I agree. The attorney, I feel better for Scheffler's chances in this if his attorney said, I'm not worried about this at all. It's all going to be cleared up
That's the thing
at
about
the very first court date. Don't worry about this.
Yeah, when I got sued by a DJ for defamation, because he was suing me for making fun of him, I was like, oh my God, this is silly. And then you call a lawyer and they read it and they're like, oh, yeah, well, no, it's everything is real. Everything needs to be taken seriously. You're like, super keen.
Yeah, neat.
Yeah, there doesn't seem any lawsuit that's just nothing that comes up in anything that involves the lawyers ever seems, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. I think Diddy might be in some trouble.
Have you boys heard the troubling news about J-Lo and Ben Affleck?
I have.
About their separation?
I have.
I also heard about...
I thought those two kids would wind up together.
Nikki Glazer saying that Affleck did not listen to the writers at the roast, and that's why he bombed. I never saw his set. But,
there's no need to watch it.
Now, Ben Affleck is an alcoholic, so there is wild speculation unfairly going on that he was intoxicated during that event.
He didn't seem like he was impaired at all.
How did he seem?
This is my point, Fred. It's not news, according to Us Weekly, because Affleck allegedly moved out of their home several weeks ago.
Oh, boy.
This hasn't been confirmed by either party, but the reports are he's been staying at a Brentwood property. Lopez and Affleck are trying couples therapy. This is according to In Touch, but their sources have also said their couple is a lot further down the road with the split than we've been led to believe. Whispers of a divorce on the horizon.
I didn't know they were married. I swear to God.
I didn't know that either.
I thought they were just dating.
I didn't.
They got married again?
Apparently.
Oh.
A high-profile lawyer, Laura Wasser, will be handling this divorce.
She's lovely. She's lovely. Well, good. I like how they just keep giving money to legal community. Hello, Scott.
Hey, morning.
Hi, Zoe.
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, great.
What's wrong?
Oh, nothing.
Okay.
He's been very active texting Hardy and I today. He's been monitoring situations. He's filled with delight.
Traffic was an issue today.
How's it going?
It's my knuckles hurt from gripping.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
One of those, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Not good.
It's because it's going to be in the 80s today. People are outside. They're excited.
I'm going to do it on the boat. Doing the boat at 3.
For real?
Yeah.
In Boston?
Yeah, Marina Bay. Yeah.
All right. That's my question.
A little bit of traffic today. Biden's in town.
Yeah, good
What's
luck.
he in town for?
Travel alerts in New Hampshire
Taking
and
care of
Boston.
business, TCOB.
They really roll him out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's Biden doing? Don't worry about it. He's taking care of business.
So have fun driving to Quincy. I don't know if it's going to be easy.
Now, what do you do on the boat off of Quincy?
Ruined my day. You absolutely just ruined my day.
Obama!
No, not that. There's anybody showing up.
Are you, what do you do on the boat, though? Do you just, drive it around?
Hit south, baby. I go down past Hingham. Yeah, we go down to World's
what?
End.
And do what?
Tie up, hang out, listen to music. It's nice. It's nice to get on the water and just ride.
Man of leisure.
Yeah.
My parents have a boat and never take it out.
I got bobcats to maintain. I don't have time for a boat ride.
Good luck with that.
Huh?
You're in a lake, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
It ain't like the sea.
Sea's open water, babe.
I got you. I hear
You
you.
see the movie Open Water? Make sure you put the ladder down before you jump off the boat.
Oh, I've seen my dad try to get up that ladder. Scared the children. All right. Enjoy Zolak and Bertrand. That'll do it for us, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.